What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
And I am Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
Yeah! Hooray!
This week, in honor of DC Fandome, we are going to be talking about a movie that was suspiciously absent from any reboots or celebrations or anything like that. Even though a lot of other things were brought back, Batman resurrected to be in other movies. This was notable absence of this movie, and we've been asked. I've seen on Twitter a lot of times people have mentioned this, so screw it, we're doing it now. So we're going to talk about Green Lantern, 2011's Green Lantern, Taika Waititi's Green Lantern.
Only Green Lantern, right? There's no, like, weird 80s Green Lantern movie, right? Like, it's the only...
It's a bunch of animated ones.
Well, okay,
there's a bunch of animated ones, and there was a made-for-TV Justice League movie that a Green Lantern was in. However, I believe it was Kyle Rayner because it was the early 90s, maybe. It was the weirdest Justice League team. It was Flash, so fine. Green Lantern, the Atom in this awful. His costume is easily the worst. I want to say Martian Manhunter, Fire and Ice. It was a really bonkers group, and I think like maybe not even Ice, maybe just Fire, and she was like kind of your entry point character. But yeah, anyway, I think that's the only other time. Well, besides the original Joss Whedon's Justice League, or Justice League as it's been called online.
Oh god.
That movie features a Green Lantern, however, he is not named.
I mean,
in the movie.
Yeah, feature, titular, whatever. Like this is it. There's no other Green Lantern. There's the Green Hornet.
That's true. There's the Green Mile.
Yeah.
There's the Big Green.
Yeah.
Green Eggs and Ham. Ever been a movie about that? Maybe.
Guys, I think you're forgetting a little Oscar winner called Green Book.
Oh my God.
Us Green
yes,
Book.
That's a good movie.
Really?
Better than this, maybe.
Whoa, okay.
It's a good movie.
I mean, a lot of movies are better than this.
It's like I didn't see any of those movies that year, including that, so I don't know. But it did win the highest award of excellence over all the other ones, so it is the best one. It tells a true story about something. Everyone got angry. One of them was Viggo Mortensen. I don't know, man. I don't know. Blade is in there somewhere, right? Mahershala, he's the other guy.
Yeah,
Mahershala.
Yeah, it's those two.
Is the person who should be the main character of the story and is not.
And he's a real guy, right? And his family got all mad because the movie was bad or something?
Well, they're both real guys. His family got mad because the way it depicts him is both not very accurate and in some specific ways not very flattering in the choices they make.
I guess I mean real guy. He's some sort of public figure, whereas Viggo's guy is just some rando who ended up driving Miss Daisy-ing him, driving him around. He's a chauffeur. Yeah.
Correct.
So that movie was cool. We can do that next week.
No.
We'll just go through. What if we did all the Green movies? Green Hornet.
I would actually
Green
enjoy
Mile,
doing Green
Big
Hornet.
Green, Green Book. Let's take other Green movies. There's others.
You may have said all of them.
No. Green. There's people are screaming into their whatevers right now.
But you go derivative, right? Like Moneyball, because money is green.
No, it's got to have green in the name.
I mean, if that's what we're doing, we would do Wall Street Color of Money.
It's the one rule is that it has green in the name.
Fine, but there are clearly not a lot of those.
Plus, money isn't green everywhere. You know,
that's true. It's very Americo-centric of me.
Yeah, some places that has astronauts and it's dope, and it doesn't have the same 8 guys forever because our money is stupid. There's other green movies out there. Green eggs, fried green tomatoes.
There we go. That's one.
There you go. That's a green movie. There's plenty of them. I'm sure you could kind of take a thing too, and just like take a thing that's like a kind of traditional movie, and then just put green on there, right? So like the Green Team, Green Zone with Matt Damon. That's one.
Green Room. Did we say Green Room?
Oh, we did not say Green Room.
Green Room's a great movie.
What's Green? Oh, I love Green Room. Yeah. That's a good one.
It's the one where Patrick Stewart plays like a skinhead Nazi.
Heroes. Like, he's a nice guy who just wants to make a deal, you know? I love him in that movie. I mean, I love him always. He's terrific. Thank God he's not a weirdo. Yeah. Like, not a bad guy. Because, man, between X-Men and Star Trek, kind of, and just like all the other pop-in roles he's done, he's great.
Picard.
Yeah, no, that's Star Trek.
Yeah, that was the second
one sure. He had a little cameo in that Star Trek show from that one role he had. He was in a couple episodes in one of the original ones, and they gave him a spin-off called Picard. No, he did other stuff. I mean, he did Waiting for Godot. Did either of you guys see that on Broadway?
I did, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was good in that.
Yeah, him and Ian McKellen. It was really cool.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about Ian McKellen, but him for sure.
What?
Ian McKellen, I don't know. I've heard rumors. Not rumors. I've heard reports that he was at some of those Bryan Singer parties. Although there's a part of me that's like, listen, we'll get to the movie eventually. There's a part of me that's been at a party with 200 people in it, and it's like, or that's been in a room with 200 people, and you're like, what if you just sit on a couch and talk to one person the whole time? Do you have any idea what's going on at that party? But it's like, hey, why am I giving him the benefit of the doubt? Is it because he's Magneto and Gandalf? Yeah, probably. And I love him on... Oh, you know what? That's the thing I love Patrick Stewart for. He's great on Extras. Do you guys ever watch Extras?
No.
Nah.
Ricky Gervais is like a struggling... So it's kind of like what Entourage would be if Entourage were good. Where like every celebrity plays themselves, but the worst version of themselves. And Patrick Stewart has a wonderful scene, which everyone should watch, where he pitches the movie to Ricky Gervais's character, and it's really funny. I don't want to spoil it. Ian McKellen, also great on Extras. But yeah. So anyway, guys, we are talking about a movie called The Green Lantern?
Yes.
That's correct, Nando.
That's right. But before that, we want to talk about the thing that was the reason we did this. And honestly, I thought we'd get more Green Lantern news because there's a Green Lantern show, and a lot of people thought a Green Lantern movie in the works, and some people even thought a Green Lantern cameo in a certain Snyder cut of some movie, and none of those are true. It was not mentioned once. But yeah, we want to talk about DC's Fandome. Want to know what you guys think about all the fandomes that happened this week. And we'll just kind of run through them, nothing crazy, but we'll go one by one through the big events of the week. First of all, did either of you guys watch DC Fandome?
Unfortunately, yes.
I didn't sit down and watch it, but I absorbed it through Twitter.
Ah, cool.
I sat down and watched it because I'm a poor soul.
Any highlights from you guys? Anything you noticed, just kind of fun things? Like when you watched it, DJ, did you go this is an interesting thing?
So,
because we've seen Comic-Cons before online and just panels and stuff.
So interesting's a word. Honestly, so I watched a lot from the what you might consider the primetime hour, your 6 to 8 o'clock on Saturday. So you know, I think it's one of the first things I saw was the Black Adam thing. And then there was a Shazam thing, a Wonder Woman thing, all the way through Batman. And I have to say, watching the panels in the... So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, just in case, real quick, what this was DC Fandome. This was a digital, virtual...
Worth mentioning.
Virtual Comic-Con, but just for DC stuff. And there were different halls, right? So the Hall of Heroes was the main one, where most of the stuff was featured. And then there was a kids hall, and... I honestly there was one more focused on the comic stuff, but the Hall of Heroes was most everything.
The Hall of Unemployment. That was that one.
Yeah.
It was mostly it was people giving short resumes and counting how many and it was resume questions that wouldn't work for a comic writer. How many windows are there in New York City? They did all of those. It was hard to watch, honestly. But anyway, go on.
So yeah, we'll focus on the Hall of Heroes, which was the major announcements, right? So I watched the Hall of Heroes from 6 to 9, and most of what I saw, I found some interesting stuff, but mostly disappointing. I think the interesting stuff you probably saw more Diggins from absorbing it through Twitter, because watching the entire Batman panel, was like pretty dry, but like the trailer I thought was good, but
Yeah.
like, the most of the Black Adam panel was boring. Same for the Shazam panel. Same for the fucking Wonder Woman 1984 panel where they played Werewolf for 22 minutes and it was terrible.
Yeah, so there were 2 panels for that where they played Werewolf in it. Or there were 2 panels. One was the Wonder Woman panel, and then later
Yeah.
there was a separate panel where they just played Werewolf.
Yeah, that was bad.
Was that did they make a deal with the devil? And that was his getting his it doesn't make any sense to me. None of the characters are werewolves in it.
You're suggesting that, in the movie Ready or Not, they made some kind of Faustian bargain where every time a new property is added to DC, they have to, pull out a card from a machine to figure out what game they're going to play. And if it's hide and seek, they have to murder the property.
And I don't get it because I didn't watch that, but it seems so stupid because Werewolf is a really hard game to play if everyone's not on the same page and in the same room. I really do think out of all of the games I've played, and Werewolf, for people that don't know, is one of those trader games where it's someone in the group is a bad guy and we have to figure out who they are as the townspeople before they kill us all. It's like Mafia or any of that, Secret Hitler. Kind of. It's a little bit simpler, but still, it's complicated. It's better to play in a room because you get to talk to people about and pull people to the side. What the fuck is the point? I don't get it. I really. So and Cheetah isn't a werewolf. She's a cat. It's different.
Yeah, she's a cat.
Unless maybe Wonder Woman turns into a wolf.
Maybe
it could.
That's how you defeat a cheetah. Is you get wolf powers. Wonder Wolf.
That would be interesting. I would like that.
Captain
actually.
America was a wolf for a while, right? That was a thing.
I think you're right, actually, yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those weird stunts they did. And then also, J. Jonah Jameson's son, when he goes to the moon, he gets infected with moon disease and turns into a werewolf man. I think he's called Man-Wolf in the comics. So it's plenty of precedent. It's more of a Marvel thing, but I'm sure there's some DC werewolf guy that I'm not thinking of.
So the premise that they came up with was that they enjoyed playing Werewolf on set, so they're like, let's bring it here. And they're like, yeah, we play this game all the time on set. And Patty Jenkins is talking about, yeah, we love this game. And I feel like maybe they played once while they were waiting for some people to shoot a scene, and then, I don't know. It must be some kind of devil's bargain. I don't know how this was birthed into existence, but it was a bad idea. And it was at 7:40 Eastern, which was this. It was 2 panels removed from Batman. I don't know how this got a mega primetime slot.
Right? It's a detective game. Why didn't Batman play it? Wasn't this his panel? He has a werewolf villain. It's Man-Bat, and it's different, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. He's just a man who turns into a big bat monster. So it's
but
the same principle.
There's plenty of werewolf analogs in comics. Wonder Woman doesn't have any of them. But, there's, the lizard, and there's a man turns into a lizard, and there's that guy, and there's plenty of them. But that's not, it's so stupid.
So
there's other things that happen during the panels, but
Yeah,
mostly they played werewolf.
I was going to say, my main point is that, slogging through, each panel one by one was horrible. The highlights at the end are definitely better. The Shazam panel was nothing, and it was bad. Because the other problem was, most of these panels were very bad Q&A sessions, so the Black Adam panel was just The Rock, and I enjoy The Rock in most things just because he's a great person. But it's
wow, okay, sure. No, yeah, he's fun.
A good actor.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying I'm not going to speculate on the content of The Rock's character.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to have to play this back in 2 weeks and edit this bit out specifically.
Okay.
When we all endorse The Rock.
I enjoy watching The Rock, period. But him fielding questions from DC producers about what, are there going to be any surprises from Black Adam? And he's like, Black Adam's going to be so powerful. Was fucking boring. So yeah.
And then someone else was like, hey, so in the first movie, Dr. Savannah was basically Black Adam, and I don't really see what the difference is going to be. So, what's up with that?
Yeah, right. I did not enjoy my experience.
They ask him, what's going to happen in the movie? And he's like, he kills Hawkman at the end. Is that what you wanted me to tell you? He kills Hawkman and Dr. Fate. And they throw the Dr. Fate helmet in the river, so eventually we'll get another one. But Hawkman dies. Like,
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
It's also, he's got a crystal that makes him bad or some shit. I don't know. It's hard to tell what they're going for with that one, but he does have an Eclipso crystal, so it's not usually a thing. But it does seem like someone brought up, like, that might be the way they're going to humanize that character. Just be like, oh, he's on mind control the whole time. All the bad things he did were mind control. Anyway, let's go through the panels one by one and talk about what we liked about him, what we didn't like.
Let's do it.
Start with Wonder Woman. That was the first one of the day, the actual proper, like, Wonder Woman 84 panel. What do you guys think of Cheetah? Diggins, did you see Cheetah? Like, did you see the trailer that has her in it?
I actually haven't seen the Wonder Woman trailer.
Oh, you should watch it and just
Why
skip
don't-
to the end so you
you
can
know
see
what?
Cheetah.
I'm just gonna pull it up right now. You guys talk about it, and I'll be experiencing it while you do that.
All right. Well, I don't want to influence Diggins' opinion. DJ,
Nothing
What
has
if we
ever
think of-
influenced my opinion on anything ever.
He's not a sheep,
DJ
Nando.
what do you think about Wonder Woman 1984? What are your thoughts on this one?
Nothing changed for me after I saw this panel, except for one thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I really liked the first Wonder Woman. I don't have reason to believe that anything I saw would make me think, oh, this Wonder Woman's going to be pretty rough. Like, you know, it's still Patty Jenkins. It's still the same cast of characters, throwing a couple more people like Pedro Pascal. So I'm pretty sure overall, I think it's going to be an enjoyable experience. And I don't think anything about this trailer brought anything new to the table. So, yeah, kind of the same opinions.
This is my hot take of the whole thing. I think
Hell
this
yeah.
Wonder Woman is going to be bad.
Such an
I do.
interesting take.
I don't see why anyone would think it's going to be good. There's no
Because the
story
first
in
one
this
was
movie.
really good.
The first one was fine. The first one like played a very safe game of let's do Captain America again, and
Okay.
it did a fine job. But like you can't do Winter Soldier, so like where do you go from here? This movie feels like Kingsman. It feels like Kingsman 2, which was also the same director and the same cast of a great movie where they brought Pedro Pascal and they brought an old character back from the dead for no reason way too early. And also there's a magic lasso. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of similarities, but also like I don't know what this movie is about, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like by this point they'd probably be like, here's what the movie's about to get you excited, and it almost feels like Frozen 2. Like, they're kind of resting on their laurels and just showing you a bunch of shit because the movie's about nothing. Which is a shame because I really like Maxwell Lord, the character Pedro Pascal is playing, who is, like, evil Donald Trump.
Oh, shit. Maxwell Lord's in this movie?
Yeah, that's Pedro Pascal's guy.
Oh, my
Superpowered Donald
God.
Trump, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But he's an 80s billionaire type.
Yeah,
who
no, I love Maxwell
formed
Lord.
he formed the Justice Society again, he formed the Justice League International, and then he also was kind of a bad guy, but he's like a slick business guy who gets marketing and stuff like that. So all I know is this movie has Wonder Woman in it, and it's directed by Patty Jenkins, and it has all these other characters. But yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say if the plot existed, they would have told us what it is, and there's probably a reason why they're not. I don't know. But that's just me. Diggins, have you watched this trailer yet?
Yeah, I just watched it.
What do you think of Cheetah?
I mean, I don't really see a lot of Cheetah as Cheetah, so it's hard for me to say.
I mean, at the end, there's
It's at
that
the end,
one
though.
shot of her
You gotta-
climbing around and shit.
I guess.
And I think that's kind of all we'll get from her. I feel like that's the last scene where she'll turn into Cheetah and Cheetah about for a while.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think she looks fine.
Really? I think it looks bad. Like, I think this movie could have gotten away with it if it came out before Cats, which it was supposed to, but I don't think it can.
Oh, it looks
It was-
better than Cats.
Yeah, that's an interesting assessment.
It was supposed to come out 3 months before Cats or something, and then they pushed the release date back because Guardians 3 got its release date pushed back, and they were like, you know what, let's put this out in June 2020. What could go wrong? So they could have had this movie out already and made $1 bazillion, and they could have had it out before Cats, although they would have had it out after the Cats trailer when it was all still a joke. But I don't know, man. She looks like she could be a cat. I think her hair makes her look kind of almost dumber. Like, Cheetah's a tough line to thread. Like, it's a tough needle to thread. sometimes she wears clothes. I kind of think she should be wearing clothes. I think then you could take more, like, go with it more. But also, it's like, if this is the only scene she's in, it's at the end of the movie in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know. It feels very DC to me.
Well, that's just speculation. We don't know that that's true.
There's no way that's not the last scene. You don't think? I think that is the last scene of the movie, because it also appears to be the scene where she has the golden eagle armor on from Kingdom Come, and like that's the last scene of the movie for sure. But I don't know. That's just my guess, but I have a feeling. I think that's a safe bet. Especially watching all the rest of these movies. I don't know if it's a Patty Jenkins thing, but that's very similar to how Wonder Woman 1 ends. Just have them fight in the dead of night. And
I will say the ending of Wonder Woman 1 is like the one part I didn't care for.
I mean, it's really bad.
It's a bad ending. It ruins the movie.
I don't think it ruins it.
No. Yeah,
it's the worst part of the movie.
It fights against the movie. Like, it's,
yes.
It is ideologically at odds with the movie. However, I want to say, like, okay, so yeah, did you not catch Maxwell Lord in that trailer or even any of the older marketing?
Yeah, he's in the
Pedro Pascal's guy.
Yeah. I can give you whatever you want.
I mean, it's hard for me to hear what the people are saying while I'm also listening to you guys. So right. I'm mostly getting the images here.
It's very like, anything you wish can be yours, which I'm assuming he has some sort of magic rock or whatever that grants wishes or something. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what the precedent for this character is, like, granting wishes, but it seems like he could grant wishes. And it seems like his wish is going to be the president, because it seems like there's a big fight in the White House.
Perhaps he was speaking metaphorically and not literally.
We'll talk about that in a couple of months. We'll see. That one we'll see. I don't know, but I want to take. I think, because I think that's how you make a cheetah. I think Kristen Wiig's character in this trailer is very like, I wanted to be cool and tough, just like Wonder Woman. So I turned into Cheetah Woman. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Your speculation is that she tells the wish-granting man, I want to be cool and strong like Wonder Woman, so he turns into a Cheetah Woman?
I think it's monkey paw wishes, and the wish is like, because that also, so I don't want to say I came up with all of this, but it seems like that's also how you get Steve back. Everybody gets a wish, and Diana's wish is, I wish Steve were alive, and her wish is, I wish I could kill Wonder Woman, or I wish I was confident and sweet, and she gets cat powers. And Wonder Woman gets Steve Trevor back.
Wait, hold on. So Wonder Woman just gets the thing she said, like, directly, and Kristen Wiig gets says something also similarly, somewhat vague but relatively straightforward, and gets turned into a Cheetah Woman?
I have a feeling there's going to be some sort of monkey paw related to the
Steve Trevor thing.
Steve Trevor too, and I would 100%. He will be dead by the end of the movie, or gone, or evil, or something. I don't think we're keeping him around.
I'm just saying there's a big difference in the monkey paw mechanics of person comes back, but then something tragic happens. But like in that brief time, you got what you wanted, and like you wish for confidence and get turned into a Cheetah Woman. Those are very different scales.
It's possible there's a gradient where it's like she gets confidence and then is confident and then becomes a Cheetah Woman. Like, maybe all of the wishes go bad at once. We don't know what the timeline is of what it is we are seeing.
That's true, because there's bits in the trailer that make it appear that first she just dresses in cheetah garb and beats up people like in cheetah print outfits, and then just at the very end becomes a cheetah. I'm going to say this. I want to say in one line she says the word apex predator. I bet that's what her wish is. And Maxwell Lord is like, oh, or whoever, the genie is like, granted. That's a weird thing to say.
I don't think there's a genie in this movie. I'm going to say that.
I don't think there's. Well, so okay.
I don't think there's a wish granter person in this movie.
So we'll get to this, but Black Adam's trailer features something called the Eclipso Crystal, excuse me. And Eclipso is this like evil DC god guy who just hates everybody, and like He's almost like if Loki and Thanos had a baby. In my, I don't know. I mean, that's like kind of what it is. But he would grant a wish, and we don't see that in Wonder Woman. But the fact that we're seeing it in Black Adam makes me kind of go like, maybe he's gonna find it in Wonder Woman and not know that's what it is. And then in the end, maybe he'll be like, oh, what is this? It's this weird crystal. And then Black Adam's gonna get it. Because Eclipso would be an interesting big bad for the future of these movies. I don't know. That's just a guess. But I mean, we definitely see the crystal. It's like a pink, purpley pink, like little diamond or something.
Do we know?
Woman, what's up?
Sorry, just real quick. Do we know how much connective tissue there is still between all the DC movies? Because that still feels very unclear.
No one knows.
Okay, cool.
We'll know when the movies come out and they decide, like,
these are related.
Right, but even then, they could just be like, they could make Wonder Woman. I think there's a world where they make Wonder Woman 84, don't expect it to be related, and it's a huge hit, and it's the best movie ever, and then in Flash 2, Flash goes back in time and grabs all the Wonder Woman characters so they can be part of the mainline universe, because that seems to be what he's doing with Keaton and Batfleck. So, like, who the fuck knows? Anyway, we spent a lot of time on Wonder Woman. What else was there? Let's talk about Black Adam. The Rock. He's finally making this movie he's been threatening us with for like 10 years on Instagram. He is Shazam's villain. The one that's the third or fourth villain out of all of the villains. Out of his 4 villains, or 5, I guess, if you count the one that's a caterpillar. We've done them all now.
Oh, how could you possibly not count Mr. Mind?
Well, I mean, he's in the movie. Like, he is in Shazam 1.
I will never not count Mr. Mind.
Oh, for sure. I guess it's just like, he's the one that if you wanted to use another one, I guess you're going to have to use him, because we're out of villains now. Because we used Savannah, we used the 7 Deadly Sins, we've got Black Adam. Mm-hmm. Is there another one I'm forgetting? No, I guess it's just
Mr. Mind.
Mr. Mind, and then... Oh, and then the other one's Captain Nazi, who I don't think we'll see.
Yeah, we're probably going to leave that one out.
So, like, the new Shazam is called Fury of the Gods, right? Or, like, Rage of the something of the Gods.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that, unlike the first one, this one will be good?
Whoa, shut your mouth, you whore.
Yeah, first one's pretty good. You don't like the first one?
I am on the record. We've talked about this before. I don't like the first one very much.
Yeah,
or rather, I think the first one starts really strong and gets worse and worse as it goes on.
You're a straight jabroni.
I don't get that. I think it gets better. I think it starts kind of meh, and it takes a while to really start moving, but I think once you get like about halfway through, once he starts flying, it gets pretty great.
No, I think once you get halfway through and Savannah is like gets his powers and is doing things, the movie gets really bad.
Diggins just hates Philadelphia. That's what's going on here.
Oh my god, Diggins. But you would like Savannah then, because he breaks our giant statue that is way taller than you'd expect, but in real life that's how big it is.
He is one of the most boring villains in one of these superhero movies I can recall. Like, he's like Malachite levels.
Ooh. I'm gonna give him a little better. I think he does that. He has some cool scenes where he kills everybody in a room that Malachite couldn't get away with. But I agree, he's not a very good villain. But I think the movie works in other places like way better. But anyway. So Fury of the Gods, I guess you'll have to fight the gods or something, which, like, I guess Wonder Woman already fought, but whatever. They'll find new gods.
There's so many gods.
Probably not. Well, like, how many gods are there? Like, can he fight, like, Ra? Is Ra a real guy in this universe? How many of them are, like...
I mean, yeah, so, in the original... So, you know how Shazam for Shazam, because he's not Captain Marvel anymore, is like a bunch of Greek and Roman and also biblical for some reason figures.
Whatever works.
All of them.
Black Adam actually has his Shazam is actually a different configuration made up of Egyptian gods.
That's right. I'm going to take a guess, like Set, Hotep, Anubis, a Z1. I can't even imagine. I don't know the other two, but I bet those first 3 are right. But yeah, so I guess like all the gods exist, and
Hotep's
they all
definitely
just
wrong, though, because Hotep's not
really
an Egyptian god.
Oh yeah, but also I don't know, man. Oh, Horus, maybe? Probably
Yes.
Horus.
It's-
That's the one I
it's
meant.
Definitely Horus.
Yeah. Set, Horus, Anubis. The Z, I got nothing. Probably like Animet or something. It's just like if I had to throw one together. And then the M.
Oh, wow, it's not Horus. I'm super fucking wrong.
Is it Hotep? Is that a guy?
No, it's not a guy. Here we go. I have it pulled up. It is
Okay.
S for the stamina of Shu. H for the swiftness of Heru. A for the strength of Amon. Z for the wisdom of Zehuti. A for the power of Aten. And M for the courage of Mahen.
I feel like you were way off on that one then. I don't think are any of those Egyptian gods?
Those are all Egyptian gods. They're just not the most well-known ones.
Why?
I don't know.
That's
That's
the
the
trying
right.
to be cool and
Ask
tough.
the writers from like the 30s. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, you know what was the one fun thing about any of these panels was Sinbad in this, right?
Oh, he
He showed up at
was.
the panel. That's
What a
kinda cute.
guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see about that one. Okay, but then we got who do we got, guys? Black Adam. He's fighting the Justice Society.
Yeah,
It
that was
contains
actually a fairly big reveal, right?
that we kind of got that leaked. In fact, we know who most of the actors are. Kind of.
Okay.
If that like leak is true, not if that leak is true, but if that cast is true, that probably means the leak with the actors is true. I don't recognize most of them, but I believe like the Adam Smasher is Noah Centino, and I want to say Dr. Fate is the guy that it should have been the whole time. The one who's the Magi in the Mummy movies. Like that guy. What's his name?
I've never seen the Mummy movies, other than the Tom Cruise one.
What?
The best one.
They're so good. They're really good.
Yeah, no, we 100% talked about this in the Mummy episode
I
that
know,
we did.
but this,
Yeah, that's
I know,
true.
and I think my sister texted me and she's like, "You gotta beat those guys up" or something like that. Like,
Wow.
they're really good
That's
movies. His
crazy.
name. So that guy's so that guy who I'm talking about also voices Dr. Fate in the cartoons, and I think Dr. Fate, for people that don't know, is pretty much the Egyptian-y Doctor Strange magic guy in the DC universe. And he wears a helmet the whole time, which the helmet is the I don't know what to say, demon or spirit or whatever, Nobu or something like that.
Yeah.
Nabu, and it possesses whoever wears it and just turns them into Dr. Fate. So I think you can get away with casting a lesser known actor and just be like, yeah, you do the voice, whatever. And even maybe we'll take off the helmet and it'll be like, anyone else, because they won't have the same voice because it's on the helmet. But what that guy's name? He's a lot of people wanted him to be Iron Man because he's got the facial hair and that's it. But he was in like the Resident Evil movies. I don't know, man. This guy's cool. But yeah. So Black Adam. What do you guys know about Black Adam?
Like the character?
It's whatever The Rock wants it to be. Yeah.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
He stormed into DC at some point and was like, "I want to do this," and they were like, "Well, we can't." And he was like, "Well, you call me when you can." And they're finally doing it. Good
Feels
for
very
him.
Ryan Reynolds Deadpool-y, where it's like there's just whisperings of like this thing with this guy, and then finally, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's happening. Because
Or
there have been
James
rumor-
Gunn Suicide Squadding.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He
'Cause there
will
have
a
been
movie
rumors
into
about
existence.
this forever. It feels like.
And he's said, like, we've known, not known, but it's been pretty clear that he's going to do this at some point. And it's just been like, well, he can't. Because there's no Shazam, and no one wants this movie, so why even
Right.
bother? But yeah, now it's gonna happen. He's like a slave who goes, and like, he gets the power of Shazam, does a bunch of stuff, does a bunch of crimes, like goes overboard, is sent into space, I believe, in the comics, but I don't know if that's what this is. And it takes him 5,000 years to get back, and when he gets back, it's present day. It's probably what this one's gonna be. I don't know what like the Justice Society. So it's Hawkman, Dr. Fate, a character named what is her name? It's not Whirlwind. It's something like Typhoon. That's not it though. I forget. Cyclone. I think her name is Cyclone. And then Atom Smasher. And we just know Noah Centineo for sure is Atom Smasher. Oded Fair is the actor's name, is probably Dr. Fate. I wonder. But
this is an eclectic mix.
It's a pretty, like, most of those characters have been in the Justice Society at some point. The problem with the Justice Society as a set of characters are they existed for very early with a bunch of really dorky heroes that included Dr. Fate sometimes, and then they rebooted them and threw in guys like Atom Smasher and, you know, Hawkman, although he might have been in the original. But
weren't they usually
so,
like the old Golden Age superheroes, like the older versions of the wasn't the original Green Lantern in it? The one that was magic?
Jake Eric Flash and Alan Scott Green Lantern are both part of that. Also, like Wildcat. I mean,
Wildcat.
A lot of those characters are on the Stargirl TV show now. In one way or another, Hourman, the Night Owl, not the one from comics or from Watchmen, a different guy. Dr. Midnight. So and then someone named, I want to say like Lightning, but I'm always wrong about this. I can't remember his name. But yeah, and instead of a trailer, we got a bunch of pictures of what these characters usually look like in the comics, which, like, I don't know if that's what it'll look like in this. It may be. Who knows? What do you guys think of this? Is this exciting to you?
No, mostly because it's so far away and we have no idea what it is. Because The Rock could not have been more vague. Like, I don't want to say I'm surprised at this panel because they wanted to just like get news out there. But nothing about this struck me as exciting. Like, oh, they're gonna do that. Like, it felt pretty bland. If I'm being honest.
I mean, like I said, I didn't really like the first Shazam, and nothing about this made me think that I would like this one more. So, yeah.
So it looks like so I got most of those right. Well, I got Oded Fair right. The Cyclone, I don't know this actress, Thompson McKenzie. The Hawkman and Hawkgirl, although I know Hawkman, he mentions Hawkman. I don't know Hawkgirl, maybe she's not in it as much. It might be Arnie Hammer and Isa Gonzalez. Arnie Hammer, everyone knows for being the two rowing guys in the Social Network, and Isa Gonzalez, everyone knows from a little film called Bloodshot. She played the one with the respirator.
She played the one woman in the movie.
Yeah, well, the other one is the one that keeps dying. So, you know, either you're the sexy cool girl or your wife of, but maybe
or your dead wife.
Was part of. Maybe that was part of it. Anyway, one thing that got me about this trailer that I didn't like, but it's like, there's two animatics. The first one is kind of the story of Black Adam, which is normal. He's in Kahndaq. He's a slave. He gets the powers of Black Adam, rebels. He does a Daenerys, basically. The second part is him being like, and I came to Earth, and I fought the Justice League, or the Justice Society, which, like, who the hell are these guys? Like, is this a post-Superman, pre-Superman world? This is completely unconnected to everything. Where's Shazam? But anyway, and it's like, they had Atom Smasher and Hawkman and Dr. Fate and Cyclone. And then he's like, they believe in truth and justice, but the only laws I believe in the only values I believe in are my values. And it's like, what are those? Are they not truth and justice? It seems like justice is kind of all you give a shit about. So, like, it really feels like Rock wrote this in his closet, recorded it, and then sent it to them, and was like, figure this out, guys. This is what the movie is. I have, for some reason, am able to decide.
Get in the writer's room. Because he kept referring to Black Adam as an anti-hero, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's a straight villain, or you don't know what an anti-hero...
It depends on the story.
If he's a slave, like, former slave, he gets to be an anti-hero, I guess. He's traditionally a villain, like... When he started, he was a villain.
He started as a villain. Later on, they did take him in more of an anti-hero direction. It kind of varies, like I said, depending on the story.
He's been around long enough that they've done everything with him. And I would say, honestly, what we could probably most expect from this character is the version of him from Injustice 2, who is like a dick, and the ruler of Kahndaq is like Egyptian Wakanda, but he's not a straight up villain. He's just kind of almost like, you know who I describe him as? Closer to Namor, where he is usually an antagonist, but not necessarily a villain. We'll see how that plays out, though. I mean, he'll be whatever The Rock wants him to be. He'll be whatever The Rock usually is. An asexual Superman, strong guy who, you know, makes fun of his short little companion, yet to be cast as Kevin Hart or whatever. You know?
I mean, listen, Nando, you say that The Rock is always asexual, but I have never seen two characters who have wanted to fuck each other more than
that is true.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Never has there been a less convincing romance than that one time on the mountain he tells Shaw's sister that he kind of wants to kiss her. Or something. Like, they couldn't have done less work to make it seem like he was...
Yeah, the line read was like someone was just off screen holding a gun to his head.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's Shazam or Black Adam. It's coming out. It could be cool. Honestly, like, this could be cool. There's so little we know about it. We're going to get to the ones we know. Let's do the video games real quick. They did an Arkham Knight follow-up that just so happens to be the wrong one. It's really the Suicide Squad one for some reason. And then, even though the story of Gotham Knights follows Arkham Knight's story pretty to a T, except for that Barbara Gordon can walk, that is its own thing. And the Mr. Freeze looks the same. But besides that, we got 2 teasers for 2 video games. They look like the same game. I don't know what they are. Like, I don't know. One comes out in like 2 years, so it probably doesn't exist. The other one probably comes out sooner. I think Gotham Knights comes out first.
This
and then,
year, I thought. Early
and then
next year.
Suicide Squad is 2022. But all right, Gotham Knights. You got all the Robins except for the worst one, but you got Jason Todd is back. He's Red Hood. He's got guns. Nightwing is back. We didn't see much of him.
That they have all the Robins, Nando?
That's true. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if they threw extra Robins in as DLC.
I have one question. I don't have a question. I have one demand for the editors at DC. Let Stephanie Brown out of her cage.
Well, it's not about the editors of DC. It's about what's his name. I forget his name.
WB Games guy. Montreal.
Right? There's one writer who hates her.
Fuck,
I can't remember. But there's a Batman writer who, like is the reason she won't exist. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be shocked. I think in the future we'll get a Damian Wayne DLC for sure. Because he has a sword. He's a completely different fighting style than the rest. And yeah, maybe we'll get like Spoiler, and Cassie as Batgirl or the fuck's her name? She's a Batgirl and a Batwoman, but she has another name. It's like Silence or something, but whatever. But for now, it is Tim Drake as Robin, who looks a lot like the one from the Damian Wayne, but whatever. Nightwing, Jason Todd, and Batgirl. They all do. It's 2-player co-op or single player, and it's kind of more of what you'd expect from a Gotham, like Arkham kind of game.
Yeah, it's just like a beat 'em up where it seems like the 4 characters have all the same physics, except they skin different weapons in there. It doesn't actually seem it's gonna be pick your fighting style like that. That just does not seem like what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know if they've played any of the games they've made, but the fighting styles are all hit X a bunch. So I don't know. It's pick the weapon you want to hit X a bunch with.
If I could give like Rocksteady here, I'm gonna Rocksteady Defender here for a second. I think the fighting style, probably most in Arkham City, where there is certain timings to when you're fighting like 50 guys, and there is a little bit of nuance with like how you're being Batman that does take some finesse and is like skill based. It's not just like press X now.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that this Gotham Knights game is that, but because it's not even Rocksteady, but I do think that they've had a way to like make a Batman game fun with like not too many gadgets and like where it feels challenging to a point when you're fighting a bunch of guys. So like maybe we'll get that in Gotham Knights. I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I feel like this will be the simplest of them. Diggins, did you see the trailer for this?
No. I didn't see most of the game stuff other than the Suicide Squad one.
I mean, it's only those two. It's this and
Yeah,
that.
there's other game stuff.
Okay, well then I didn't see this, but I saw the Suicide Squad one.
All right, I want to quiz you real quick, kind of just to make a point. Let's go through the characters, and you tell me what you think they bring to the table. Nightwing. What is Nightwing? How is Nightwing different from the rest?
I would guess Nightwing. I mean, he has that like baton kind of thing, and he tends to be more acrobatic. So I guess he would probably be more like a movement based, stun heavy, perhaps.
That seems right. We didn't see. He's the one we saw the least gameplay of, but I think that's probably right. How about Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood, aka the Arkham Knight? I guess, but not. But maybe.
Well, Jason Todd is, of course, the dark, extreme Robin. So I would guess his is based more around a bit of the ultra-violence. And maybe he's got some guns, because he's a bad boy.
There it is.
Yeah,
ding,
and
ding,
a
ding,
metal
ding.
arm, and eyeshadow. Wait, sorry, I did the other one. I'm sorry, I meant the one from 2001 where they rebooted the dead character, and not the one from slightly a week later in 2001 where they rebooted the dead character. Did you know those two books came out within a couple of weeks of each other? The Winter Soldier and Under the Red Hood, or
really
not? Yeah, they're so close. It's just random coincidences, and I think 2001. I think it's 2011. But the comics always does this, where they just accidentally do the same thing at the same time, enough so that you're like, well, they can't have planned it. But yeah, so it's but yeah, he has guns. That's kind of his bit, and he's more extreme. Batgirl. What do you think for Batgirl?
Which Batgirl?
So it's Barbara Gordon, and she is not paralyzed. It is it's like prime of her life Batgirl.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know what distinguishes Barbara Gordon Batgirl from just like the platonic ideal of a Robin that much.
I think she skews gadgety.
I was about to say maybe gadgets, because Barbara Gordon is smart.
Yeah, and when she becomes Oracle, she's like the tech kind of like person in the chair. So I want to say that's her, although she's the main character of the demo they showed, and it seems like she's probably the most vanilla Batman-y. Probably her and Nightwing have similar things, but like she has a cape, and she like a lot of the other ones don't. And like, I would bet her kit is the closest to Batman's. All right, here's the fun one. What's Robin's special ability? How does he differ from the group?
Wait, which Robin?
Tim Drake. Tim Drake.
Oh, Tim Drake. Okay.
Yeah. Think about all the Tim Drake comics you've ever read. What's that one thing he could do that no one else can do?
He has his dad killed by a boomerang.
No, but it's not boomerang like, as we'll get to. What's the other? What's something that a normal 10-year-old child can do? I'll give you a hint. Here's the hint. He's able to call in the watchtower for short range teleportation. That's his like specialty. Yeah. The fuck?
Right.
Who is in this meeting that's just like, what does the fourth character do? Well, he kind of does what the other ones do. I guess he must teleport then. Because as we'll see in Suicide Squad, that's the random power they gave Captain Boomerang. And
now, I was under the impression that
it.
Captain Boomerang was just moving very quickly.
Yeah,
like,
we'll get there. I think there's a couple of things going on there.
Yeah, I think his teleportation is tied to his boom. I'm betting he has a boomerang that's like he gets to teleport to where the boomerang goes, and like it's in super speed, but it's essentially teleportation. This one is specifically watchtower, like, just straight up. He can do little jumps like Tracer from Overwatch, which I think is pretty much what they were going for. Looks really dumb.
Actually they got mixed up and they were like trying to look up Tim Drake, but accidentally looked up Tracer from Overwatch.
Yeah.
And
similar
so,
hairstyles.
So that might have been their model, and I think they're both Australian.
Absolutely.
Isn't Tracer British?
Yeah, Tracer's super British. But Yeah.
Thank you for revealing the joke. Is that it's wrong for both of them?
Ah, okay. I could be convinced because there's plenty of Australians in Overwatch, and I frequently get those accents mixed up. And I've played enough Overwatch that maybe I just decided she was British, but then I remembered she has a British flag costume they just gave her. But, yeah, it's very much like her blinking, or like what's his name, the Dishonored guy. It seems like that's kind of what they're going for with Robin. I don't know why.
Very popular. Very popular. Very 2011 of them.
Yeah. I am this out of everything that was announced, probably the thing I'm least excited for. It does, by the way, Diggins, you may have, like, this probably wasn't super obvious either. The trailer for the game starts with Batman being like, I'm dead, so here's a message. I want you, my little babies, to all go fight crime. And even though that is how the fourth Arkham game ends, this is not a continuation of that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Is it an adaptation of the Battle for the Cowl?
I don't know. Well, it seems like they just want to reuse all the villains and make the ones that are not usually as evil as they are more evil again. Like, I feel like they want a Bane that's bad and a Mr. Freeze that's bad. But I don't know what they're going for, but it looks like it seems like they're supposed to work together, and like it's like you all have different skills. Except for you, Robin, but just you wait until you see what it is you can do and work together 2 at a time for some reason. See if that's any fun.
Everything in pairs. Everything in pairs. It's a safety thing.
And if anyone doesn't pick Nightwing and Barbara Gordon, the game crashes because that's the only pair that's correct.
Wow, okay.
Also, Red Hood gets 6 bullets because we couldn't overextend the engine to make it a fun gunplay. So
yeah,
it's mostly a Bayonetta style where it's melee with some shooties.
And I know we've made fun, and the internet has made fun of that Avengers game, but I think it's going to be tough to make a game after that where you don't get to play all 4 characters at the same time. Why even make 4? Just make 2 good ones. Especially if one of them can teleport and one of them's just the vanilla one but without a cape. Like, make this Nightwing and Batgirl the game. Or Batgirl and Red Hood. Screw it. But that doesn't seem to be what they're doing. Speaking of the Avengers game, Rocksteady's, or someone's making that, but it's the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And it's Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Looks fun.
Yeah, so the one, so it's Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang, and they all do what you expect. Deadshot has a jetpack, which is cool, and like
that's what you expect from Deadshot. Is it was a jetpack.
Yeah, classic Deadshot.
And King Shark has like a minigun, but so Captain Boomerang can teleport now. I think it's the Speed Force. I think Captain Boomerang has harnessed the Speed Force to go really fast, because if he throws a boomerang and then teleports to the boomerang, it's not a boomerang. It's just like a javelin.
Well, so
right?
People bug me about this when I said in my boomerang video that none of his boomerangs come back to him except for one. Usually, like, there's 2 different kinds of boomerangs. One's supposed to hit something, and one is supposed to come back to you. I still don't think that's what either of those would be. It does seem like one of them is just an anchor boomerang that he is able to throw really fast and then, like, teleport to wherever it is. So it doesn't seem like he's using that as a weapon. Did you see the other boomerang he seems to use a lot?
It's like a gun thing, right?
Yeah, he's got a fucking handgun boomerang. Why? Why
Yeah,
bother?
it's very versatile.
Well, he already had come up with the theme, and then he realized he needed a gun too, so he's like, well, shit.
Honestly. Also, in 2012, in 2020, did any of you guys think you'd be like, hey, DC, maybe cool it on King Shark? Hey, DC, maybe cool it on King Shark.
Hey, listen, I think that's just your Ron Funches bias showing.
Yeah, I don't think
you don't like Ron Funches for some weird reason.
Well, this King Shark, I mean, because he's always the same. This King Shark is closer to what, like, I would expect. He's got a Drax vibe to him, where he's like, when Superman shows up, he's like, "Oh, Superman, shining example of justice," like, which is a like somewhere to go with that character. It's not what I usually expect from him, but
Yeah,
sure.
right.
And Deadshot's just a guy. And Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn. She's like acrobatic and uses the bat. She'll probably be the most fun, honestly. I think I'm gonna like her the most. Just because I'll be so confused by Captain Boomerang. And then, so the premise seems to be Brainiac either mind controls the Justice League or gets them so angry they decide to blow up all the helicopters in the city one by one.
And kill the pilots.
Yeah, and kill the pilot.
And vaporize the pilots.
Yeah, snap the pilots into like dust, like floaty little pieces of dust. This is a surprise to our heroes, so I'm not sure how they didn't hear about this, but
Well,
Right.
apparently when Amanda Waller sent them in, they were like, "Can we know what we're fighting?" And she said, "No."
yeah, it'll show up. Don't worry. Be
Yeah.
surprised. Everyone
Also,
be around.
You have to kill Superman with no kryptonite, so good luck.
Yeah. How do you think you're gonna kill Superman in that game? Shoot him with your gun boomerang a bunch?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. I think we all know you're not going to end up killing the Justice League. You're going to end up.
I think you might.
I don't know.
Well, Batman's already dead because I don't know if we mentioned that this is a continuation of the Arkham whatever.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, when this trailer was happening, did anyone get any strong Sunset Overdrive vibes? Because I was getting some strong. A game not made by Rocksteady, by the way.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive and Overwatch. That was the other one where I was like, this is just these colors are so, which is fine.
Sunset Overwatch.
Yeah. Sunset Overdrive was made by, who made that? Not Platinum.
I don't.
Was
know.
it Platinum?
No, was that a straight Was that straight Microsoft?
No.
'Cause it was only released on
was,
Xbox One.
It was by the guys that made Jet Set Radio.
Oh, yeah. Those fools.
They made something else that we all like. That like is a not that we all like, but they made another popular game. Oh, they made
Jet Set
Crackdown.
Radio.
Oh, maybe it is Microsoft Studios.
Crackdown 1 is good.
Insomniac.
Oh yeah, those guys.
So, yeah, so you're Spyros, and then later on you're Ratchet and Clanks.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, I did get that vibe though, and all of those things we just mentioned, like Ratchet and Clank, I think too, very like kind of silly. Everybody has a gun, shoot. Like, you know, the guns do weird things that you wouldn't expect. I think out of the two games, this is the one I care more about, but just because it has potential.
Yeah, it's hard because we have not seen any actual gameplay. It was completely cinematic, and this game is not going to be out for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And like,
who do you think?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think like development times now are it's so hard to predict because like game studios are like going through a lot of stuff. Not that that's like at the top of any list of shit that matters, but just like, you know, games are getting delayed left and right. Like, you know, it could be 2022, it could be 2023. Like, it's so hard to project. It could be game canceled. Like, who knows?
Who do you think is the hardest Justice League member to kill? Is it Superman?
I want to say yes. Martian Manhunter, you get Fire. Green Lantern.
I think we have.
I'm gonna say, God, what's not? Plastic Man. Plastic Man's the hardest Justice League member to
Plastic
kill.
Man's tough to kill. Well, I don't know. If you can freeze him, he's pretty easy to kill. But
Booster Gold.
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like Superman is tough and Wonder Woman's tough. The thing with Superman is like in the animatic you're given, they are not aware that it's Superman, which is so dumb. But I wouldn't be shocked if in the if you have to kill him, you have to like go to some hideout to get a kryptonite thing. Like go to like Lex Luthor's apartment and find his kryptonite gun, and then use that to kill Superman. Whereas with Wonder Woman, it's like, what do? You just, you know, hit her so hard, but like she's pretty strong. I don't know. Green Lantern's probably the easiest because he's got the two dumbest. Like he is weak to yellow and wood.
Okay. Silver Age Green Lantern is not weak to wood. Only Golden Age Green Lantern, and also the yellow weakness has been removed for many years in the comics. It can be harder to affect for a Green Lantern, but it is not impossible.
They will just make some. they'll make some joke about the movie we'll one day talk about, and like that'll be
Nah.
the weakness. Like Harley's gonna be like, "Yeah, you punk, get back to your bad movie. You
Yeah.
suck." Like that'll be
Whoa,
the fucking joke.
Margot Robbie's here? That's crazy.
Margot
I know,
Robbie,
right?
Listen, I've been a huge fan ever since. God, I don't know. Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf
was
of
that your
Wall
first
Street.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you did
The
one
Big
thing
Short,
before that. Oh, love you in The Big Short. Margot, real quick, can you explain CDOs to me? Real quick.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
Would you like to start? You could start whenever. I know. You Australians, traditionally the most polite of the peoples. So whenever you're ready,
I
Margot.
could, but there's no time.
That's fair. That's
Sorry, darling.
fair. Yeah, she. I think it's weird. There's a lot of because there's 2 Suicide Squad things this year. A Suicide Squad movie that'll show up later, and this. And because Deadshot isn't in the Suicide Squad movie, I'm not as tired of him. And because Boomerang isn't a huge part of the market, I'm not as tired of him. It's crazy how much Harley Quinn is like the 3rd most important character in DC everything right now.
I am honestly not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm
Like-
a little surprised.
Because you know what I think it is? It's one of those things where because all of their staples, if you will, like the meat and potatoes of the DC universe, they fucked up so royally. Like
Yeah.
you have to turn to these like typically B-level players and take risks. And I think that's what they did to be successful. Like I think they took more risks. Like the Harley Quinn show is like probably one of the best things going in DC right now, and
so
it's because
good.
it's edgy and fun and very cavalier. So like that's why even though Dickens may disagree, like Shazam, I think they took risks with, and that was fun. So I think that's why it's like their meat and potatoes are just like besides Wonder Woman, it's like this kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's definitely something to like the whole like nobody cared about Harley Quinn, and also I think there was a moment in like the 2015s, maybe 2014, where all the writers figured out what to do with her, which is like make her hate the Joker, and that's the most interesting story you could tell with her. And once they figured that out, and then they separated those characters, and they're like, well, what do we got? Well, we have like a clown. She does acrobatics, and she's Kraken wise. And then you did a movie that was successful. The movie wasn't successful, but the version of the character, almost like with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, was so much. I guess this is what this is now. That it was you were able to like put that character in other things really easily. But yeah, I love Birds of Prey. I know some people don't love that movie, but I think that movie is very fun, and I think she works really well in it.
I enjoyed that movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I think we were all quite high on it, if I recall our episode.
Well, yeah, that's fair. But also, Dickens is wrong about a lot of things. So, he
That's true.
doesn't like Bloodshot, and he doesn't like Shazam.
I'm not wrong about anything. It's just sometimes the world at large is wrong.
Gosh. Listen, we've got a lot. There's a lot to cover. So there's 2 more DC thingies because we did these ones. Oh yeah, they're making another Aquaman movie. Who gives a shit? What's her name? Oh, no. Okay, so 2 things. Speaking of things that might not be things.
Hey, listen, that first Aquaman movie was better than Shazam. I said it.
You are a goddamn fool.
Sorry, guys.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's better. Actually, it's kind of good. It's not that bad.
They're both kind of good, but I think Shazam is far better than... Oh, my God. Than Aquaman?
Yeah, man. Aquaman kind of knows what it is, and I'm for it.
Are you a stan for what's her face who was in it, who voiced the big ocean monster?
Am I a Julie Andrews stan? Is this what you're asking me?
Yes.
I mean, not to the extent that it would influence my opinion of Aquaman.
If anything, Dickens is the problem that Dickens must have to face right now is Jimon Hansu, who plays characters in both movies, He is
but
both
Nando,
the wizard in Shazam and the Fishman in the other one.
But Nando, you are forgetting that Jimon Hansu is also the villain in How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That's true. And he's also the villain in Captain Marvel, kind of, and then he's also the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy 4. and like a million other things. Who does he know? I mean, he's good in the things he's in, but like, it's such a strange pick.
Like, how does he get to the casting? Like,
well,
audition
listen,
or whatever?
it's because so many movies decide what they want in their villain is like big and talks deep, and like he's got that niche cornered.
That's true.
I mean, that first moment of Guardians where he's like, "Who?" was very good, and like if that sucked, the movie might have sucked. Like that's the whole ball game right there.
They put that in every trailer, TV spot. Like they flooded the zone with that. Like one line.
He was in Amistad and like a lot of serious movies, so he was one of those guys that's like, wow, they got Shimon Hansu, the Blood Diamond guy. Wow. Anyway, yeah, they're making another Aquaman movie. They're also making a Flash movie. No one knows if either of the actors that are in some sort of like, legal jeopardy are going to show up for that. It seems like I have a feeling they'll recast Amber Heard with literally any other actress that's better than her, which is most of them. Because of all her weird Johnny Depp stuff, which like I have tried so hard to wrap my head around, and they both seem like lunatics. Like, and also she's not that good in the first Aquaman. Like, she's super dispensable. I don't know. Do either of you guys have any Amber Heard Mira thoughts?
She seemed fine in the movie as an actress. I will not speculate on any other Amber Heard occurrences.
Ditto.
All right. I don't know. I don't think she was very good in that movie. I think she was like, if I had to get rid of one actor, I think she's the one I'd get rid of. I don't think the movie works without Jason Momoa, Willem Dafoe, and Patrick Wilson all working at like 100%. And she's like, she's there reacting, but throw, Daenerys Targaryen in there, I think you get the same movie. That's just me. And then you got Ezra Miller, who is still in the Flash movie, even though he may have choked a woman on video. It's very strange. Have you seen it? Have you seen the video?
No, I can't say that I have. In fact, I didn't even know this had happened until you mentioned it the other day.
Oh, Get Out. Yeah, I mean, the video, I've seen it. I don't know how hard it is to find, but he's still around. But he was not at this panel, I think. However, the concept art that they used kind of maybe looked like him, but also it was really dark and in shadow, so I think they could recast him as well. But he is in the Snyder Cut, obviously, because they're just using old footage. But yeah, so they're making that movie with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. I don't know which one of Ben Affleck's kids someone has. Like, what ransom they're pulling over his head. But, like, why is he doing this? He hates this. And he finally seems happy.
Money?
I see pictures of him when he's smiling. Why bother?
He has to have enough by now, right?
So much.
Hey, man, I don't. Sometimes it's never enough. I don't know. Maybe it's a sense of like obligation. Like he feels like he committed. I don't know. I have no explanation. I'm just talking to my ass. Like always.
My money's on. My money's on. He goes and he's like, "Hey Barry, go into the past," or like Barry's like, "I want to go into the past to save my mom," because this movie's Flashpoint, because they have no idea what they're doing with this character. And he's like, "I want to go in the past to save my mom," and Batman's like, "You probably should," and he's like, "Screw it," and then he goes back and like that's it. I have a feeling you'll be in less than 5 minutes of the movie.
It could be maybe the easiest payday ever. So it's not that he needs the money, but it was like, I would be a fool to say no to this.
And they get all the goodwill from all the Snyder fans who just love him for some reason.
Oof.
Like, think his Batman is the one true Batman. And everybody has a different Batman. And mine is every single one except for him. So I guess if people want him, go for it. But I doubt he will be a big part of this. I also doubt Michael Keaton will be a big part of this. I think it'll be mostly Ezra Miller bumping around time.
I think it's mostly
going to
be. I think it's going to mostly be Val Kilmer.
Oh God, I wish Val Kilmer did. He's got a whole thing going, right? He had like throat cancer or something.
Yeah,
so
I
he,
think
like,
so.
Which is it's such a shame because I love him. I mean, in his Batman role, but also in MacGruber. Like, and he is great on the show. Oh God, I forget the spiritual successor to Extras, where Warwick Davis is a struggling actor trying to make his career happen again, and Val Kilmer comes back trying to pitch a Willow sequel as hard as he possibly can. Like, he seems so funny and cool. Like, but in The Snowman, they like 80-yard all of his dialogue. So I don't know. I don't know where he's at right now. But I think Val Kilmer might be my favorite Batman. We'll see what Pattinson does, but at least in the movies, like, I think he threaded the best needle between Bruce Wayne and Batman. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, but I don't know. Who's your favorite Batman?
Oh my God!
In the movies, obviously it's Kevin Conroy, but who's your favorite movie guy?
I really think
Thanks for taking the easy answer out.
I do like Christian Bale a lot.
Really?
Like,
Because
I'm
he's
not saying
bad.
it to be basic.
Next
No,
answer.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
He's good, nuanced, and cool. Man.
Obviously, it's Ben Affleck because he's in the greatest Batman movie of all time, Batman vs. Superman.
See, we're all just giving the wrong answers, apparently.
I'm going to give it to Robert Pattinson in the trailer for the Batman.
That's probably a safe bet.
The worst.
No, I'm
Adam
with you,
West,
DJ.
then. It's Adam West.
Christian Bale's in the best Batman movies. I think he fades into the background. I don't think he's a convincing Bruce Wayne. It's the same way that, like, I think Val Kilmer is both. George Clooney is the best Bruce Wayne. Christian Bale might be the best Batman. And then
No, I'm putting all my chips on Robert Pattinson. Haven't seen the movie, but he's the best Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
It could turn out that way.
All right. Two more. We got two more, and then maybe we'll talk about Green Lantern for like 5 minutes.
First
one.
At this
we'll
point,
see.
I'm not even sure if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Why bother? First one,
episodes.
the Snyder Cut. Guys,
Yeah.
they released it.
Okay.
Kind of.
Several things.
They took all the scenes that were in the other trailers but didn't make it into the movie and put them into one trailer. Finally, we get to see what Darkseid would have looked like if someone drew him with crayons. Finally, we get to see the scene where Barry Allen saves a character who definitely won't be in the next movie. Finally, we get to see them all stand together and get in a car.
And Nando, Victor Stone playing football for realsies.
Finally, we get. What position does Victor Stone play?
I thought running back. Is that
I
not...
thought he was a quarterback.
I mean, from the footage that I saw in the Snyder Cut, he's 100%
absolutely.
a running back.
He's vaulting a linebacker. It would be an insane thing for a quarterback to do. But I always thought his character was a quarterback.
Alternatively, he's the best run option quarterback of all time.
I was going to say,
mother boxes are crazy, so maybe it's that one.
I think that he's a quarterback because it's the only football position name that a bunch of fucking nerds would know.
That's fair. Well, you nerds don't know anything about football, but you'd love it so much. Like how in Batman, what's his name? Batman, the Dark Knight Rises, or whatever that one's called, the one with Bane, Hines Ward's returning a punt. Like, they do whatever they want. Yeah, they don't care about you nerds. Yeah, they show you a man holding the football, and you expect it's his job to throw the football to himself. I loved everything about this trailer.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just so excited. I just keep interrupting.
The same way I love watching, like, I don't know, a monster truck rally. I don't know. Like, you come for one thing, and it's there. And
that one thing is Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Okay, yeah, I so badly want to talk about this. So,
all right, let's go. DJ, give me your Snyder Cut. It was released. People that don't know, well, can you explain, DJ? Give me in like a million words what the fuck the Snyder Cut even is.
I actually have practice on this because I had watched this with a friend over the weekend, and he didn't know what it was, so I had good practice. So,
who?
Can you have a friend
off mic? Yeah.
You have a friend who has somehow managed to avoid being poisoned by the internet.
Is it Joss? Are you friends with Joss?
Tell them to please maintain that purity in the face of our dark times.
So it's what happens when you have a baby. Apparently, when you have a baby, that's all it is. It's the baby, and that's it. So, unfortunately, Zack Snyder had a horrible tragedy happen to him that removed him mid-production of the Justice League. It's very unfortunate. I would never have anyone go through that. It sucks. So Joss Whedon came in, and he had to take the existing footage and reshoot some stuff, and basically Frankenstein's monster together a Justice League movie, which he did to, some would say, incredible failure or moderate success. Depends on who you talk to. Now,
if you talk to anyone who saw the movie or has stake in Warner Brothers, incredible failure. If you talk to Josh Whedon's mom, maybe he did okay.
If you talk to anyone who saw what he had to work with in the first place, they say, you know, all things considered.
If you talk to the man who put the train on a track that you had to divert and either make Snyder Cut or Justice League, that guy was like, I understand how this happened. You know, that's a reasonable. You pick one or the other. Anyway, sorry. So go on.
So yes. So this movie comes out now. Meanwhile, there are a group of internet people. I don't know what to call them. They exist on the internet, and they are either people who cannot live in a world where there is not a Justice League movie at the same level of the Avengers, and or they love Zack Snyder so much that they believe that there's a better version of this movie. So there is a movement, for lack of a better term, called Release the Snyder Cut. And actually, as part of the panel, Zack Snyder interviewed like the people who started this fucking movement, and it's bananas. We can get into it if we want,
because they're the only people that care. But go on.
So what happens is anytime there's a Warner Brother tweet like Happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there, you get the fans who were in the fandom saying, "Release the Snyder Cut, you cowards," because they think that there is a version of the Justice League where Zack Snyder masterfully took everything and made the perfect Justice League movie, and Joss Whedon fucking ruined it, and that this cut is in the Warner Brothers vault in Warner Brothers Tower with the Animaniacs, and
rebooted soon. Coming to a
it's
Hulu near you.
I do think it's important to note that, these people weren't saying, hey, let Zack Snyder make an editing pass and make the Justice League he wanted. They think there's a complete movie that Zack Snyder made that they just didn't release.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, TJ, I think you sold them short. On that Mother's Day tweet, they would have tweeted, "Happy Mother's Day to everyone. You know what your mother probably wants? The Snyder Cut." And then the next tweet would have been, "Mother, mother, mother. Everyone's mother loves the Snyder Cut. Alita Battle Angel probably too." I'm going to take a wild guess and say those fandoms have a big Venn diagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Almost
Alita Battle
complete
Angel is
circle.
kind of good.
Oh my gosh, Diggins, this is like,
We don't have to.
We've never been further apart.
is this one of those tweets where it's like, if I was kidnapped, what would I tweet? And the tweet's like, "Oh, I don't like Justin Hammer." Is this yours? Is
No,
this like...
these are all real opinions.
Okay, if you say so. So anyway,
That would be your Patreon sellout video, Dickens. Anyway,
yeah,
so
Oh, these are not the sellout opinions.
that's true.
we get in finally get an announcement as part of HBO Max that the Snyder Cut will be released. Now, I know what your next question is. Like, oh, so what happened was the fans won, and then Warner Brothers was like, "Yep, here's the film reel. We'll pull it out of the vault, drop it on HBO Max next week." No. It's like Snyder Cut to be released in May 2021. Because what has to happen is poor Zack Snyder, who can't get away from this movie. And again, I feel really bad because he might have like really bad personal family memories tied up in this movie.
He's kind of encouraged these people, so...
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a whole, I'm sure he's dealing with a lot, but...
the tragedy that happened that made him leave Justice League was horrible, and I would never wish that on anyone. Especially not someone whose only crime is he's made some bad movies.
Right.
Absolutely, This is not anything Zack Snyder deserved.
And to be fair, we have not seen the one with the owls. That might be good.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, when he didn't start the Snyder Cut stuff, but once it got underway, he was kind of like,
true.
"Hey, you guys, that's a pretty neato idea you've got there."
Yeah, he invented a social media platform called Vero. I mean, he didn't invent it, but he co-opted it and just used it to he used it to like he would take like a picture of the Joss Whedon version and like draw a sad face on Cyborg and then post that and be like, this might have been in my version. Who'll ever find out? Only you if you harass everyone. But it's okay because not every single one of you is doing the harassing, so it doesn't count. I don't know.
Now we're at a point where next year we're going to get the Snyder Cut, and that brings us to now where there was a trailer as part of DC Fandome. It's going to be 4 hours long, and according to Zack Snyder, this is the adult Justice League. We're finally getting the porn Justice League that we want.
God, I can't believe that's a real thing he said.
Right?
I can't believe. I
can believe it. It's
Yeah.
the sort of thing he would say, but it's like the fact I can't believe it in the same way that I can't believe he used Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah in the trailer, where it's like, of course he did, but also this is so on the nose. I feel like I wrote this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you can't blame Zack Snyder for Zack Snydering. What do you expect him to do? Joss Whedon? Incorrect. He's Zack Snyder. He will.
Have you ever heard the story of the frog and the scorpion?
Yes, yeah. I've not heard it because I haven't watched anything in years. Explain it to me, Diggins.
So there's a frog, a scorpion by the side of a river. The scorpion's like, "Frog, can you swim me across?" And Frog's like, "You're gonna sting me and I'll die, so no." Scorpion's like, "Come on, if I did that, then I would also die, and that would be really stupid of me." And the Frog's like, "Fine, I guess that's a good point." And the frog starts swimming the scorpion across the river, but then the scorpion stings him. And while the frog is dying, the frog's like, "Why did you do that?" And the scorpion's like, "I guess scorpions are just fucking assholes, loser."
Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Hashtag something about racism or something. I think that brings you to a conclusion.
It's actually a really, really bad message. It's one of Aesop's worst fables.
Oh my god! If you had to give it a top 10 worst Aesop's fables, this is number 1.
Oh god, no! There's some real stinkers in there. Have you ever actually read the whole thing? Oof.
Oh my god! The last time I read it was I read 2 or 3, and then assumed every fable was an Aesop's fable, and then I never really thought about it. I assume Aesop wrote that riddle that's like you have a bag of grain and a chicken and a wolf, and you have to get them to the side of the river.
This is not a joke. This is not a bit. I literally have an illustrated copy of Aesop's Fables right here. In fact, give me one second. I'm going to get it.
Wait, why?
Okay.
All right.
No. I'm interested.
Right.
I want to find out how you get those things across the river. DJ, did you see Justice League? I'm pretty sure you did, right?
Yeah, we did it. Right, we did it on the...
Yeah, I think we did it as a recap episode back before we had Mostly Nitpicking. Because Mostly Nitpicking started with Infinity War before this.
I'm going to open to a random fable.
All right.
You guys want to hear about the fox and the cock?
Mostly Nitpicking does not endorse the fable you are about to hear.
We don't endorse much of anything.
Yeah, that's true. We endorse, what do we all like? What's a good thing we all like?
Quibi.
Oh, Quibi, yes.
I think we fully
unofficially.
Quibi, so.
We are. I mean, listen.
Yes, sure, we're not
Quibi's doing a drive-through movie theater. You see this? Like a drive-in?
Man. I eat my sandwiches.
Yeah, they let you eat it in your car. You bring as many sandwiches as you want.
They listened.
Holy
you get to watch
shit!
That one thing that no one wants to make. All right,
this fable's hard as fuck.
Okay.
Diggins, let's hear it.
Yeah, I want.
So the fox and the cock, basically. I'm not going to read the whole thing literally, but what happens is a rooster sees a fox that got caught in a trap, and the fox is like, "Hey man, can you go get a sharp stick or something and let me out of here? Because this fucking sucks. And also, I was coming this way because I heard you crowing, so it's kind of your fault if you think about it." And the rooster was like, "All right, just chill for a second." And the rooster goes, and then he comes back. Except he brought the farmer with the sharp stick, and the farmer fucking murders the fox.
Wait,
and what's the story? Like, what's the lesson?
The lesson is use discrimination in your charities.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, I got a question.
Hey, do you want to hear the fable of the wolves and the sick ass?
Before you move on, did you say an illustrated copy?
Yeah.
So what's like the illustration? Is it the fucking...
They don't all have illustrations. That one.
Oh, well then what's the fucking point?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
The wolves and the sick ass has an illustration. If you want to hear that one,
I bet it
Sure.
does. Diggins, you can't. Don't post that on the group Twitter. We don't want to see that. That's gonna get us shut down.
This one's actually
Don't
really
show
short.
Tucker Carlson. He'll get so furious.
So it's actually
What's
really
the wolf
short.
doing? All right.
An ass being sick, the report of it was spread abroad in the country, and some did not hesitate to say that she would die before the night was over. Upon this, several wolves came to the stable where she lay, and rapping at the door inquired how she did. A young ass thrust her head out the window, and told them that her mother was much better than they desired.
Does it
Dude,
say
these
what the moral
fables
is?
straight up suck.
The moral is, words reveal wishes.
Okay.
All right, question. Would you rather, if you had to pick one of these two, would you rather be forced to watch the Snyder Cut Justice League the whole 4 hours straight, or be read 4 hours of Aesop's Fables? The Fables might...
These
Hey.
are fascinating.
You guys want to hear the fable of the two crabs?
Yes.
My dear,
Yeah.
called out an old crab to her daughter one day, why do you sidle along in that awkward manner? Why don't you go forward like other people? Well, mother, answered the young crab, it seems to me that I go exactly like you do. Go first and show me how, and I will gladly follow.
Wait. What's the moral of this one?
Example is better than precept.
Did she not know?
I actually
what the...
like that one.
That one sucks. Wait. So what were
No,
the crabs
I don't.
doing? Just sitting?
I guess? I don't know.
Right? It seems like this mom crab is like, "Hey, invent a new way to walk," and the like child crab is like, "But I walk like the rest of you guys," and the mom's like, "Prove it," and then the child crab's like, "But I can't."
The
Or
walk
it's the
like
opposite,
the rest
but-
of you guys is where the story ends. Like, that's
Right?
it.
Yeah. So I found a list of the 11 worst Aesop's fables.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And I'm pretty sure these are real.
I could
none
check
of them
them in
have
this
come
book.
up so far, but there's like a bazillion of them. All right, do you have one called The Man and the Serpent?
Well, I mean...
I don't know if you can, like, you know, is there this bibliography?
Yeah.
I'll also take
Yes.
The Cock and the Pearl. Okay, you got that one? All right, here we go. Fable. Man cuts off serpent's tail. Serpent starts killing his family. Man tries to call a truce, saying they're even. Apparently he's not so hot on his family if he considers that a fair trade, but that's tertiary. Serpent vetoes the truth, saying they can never forgive each other and are now enemies for life. Moral injuries may be forgiven, but not forgotten. It's an interesting one. Grudges are good. The Cock and the Pearl. A cock is walking around the farm and sees a pearl. He excitedly picks it up. The other one laughs. You may have a treasure. One says, but I'd rather have corn any day. Moral, the ignorant despise what is precious, but only because they cannot understand it. What's he gonna do? Sell it?
Yeah, he's a rooster.
Yeah.
What good is that to him?
That's so stupid. All right,
These are
last one, and then we're
Oh,
done with this.
actually, I have that
Oh.
one, but it says the moral as like the useful one in this one, which is a thing is of value only so far as it is of use.
Oh,
Yeah, it's...
So that one actually says the rooster's right.
interesting. Well then,
We're learning stuff, boys.
where did this come from? Oh, Scorpion Frog. So,
Because
Zack
Zack Snyder can't help but be Zack Snyder. That's how we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
off on
yeah.
this extended tangent.
do we think this movie is going to be better than the first one?
No, it's 4 hours
No.
long.
Absolutely not.
No way.
But like, do you think? Would you rather see this movie or the first one? Let's say there's the same amount of time too, or like you mentally will have to exert the same amount of energy to watch them.
All right, if we could make that true, then probably still the first one. I don't need to see the adult Justice League. Like,
Really?
yeah, man.
I feel like the adult Justice League is the more interesting of the two. Same way Batman v Superman is more interesting than like a boring. I'd rather see a bad movie than a boring movie any day. And
But see-
I don't know if this will be bad, but having seen Batman v Superman, there's a shot. There's a
So
good
there-
shot.
Yeah, it's
I think there's
probably
a
not good.
I think there's a distinction. Money Plane is bad but hilarious. Like, it's just so dumb. Batman vs Superman is bad and tiring.
Batman
Like,
v
it's just-
Superman is like legitimately one of the worst studio movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's not fun at any part. It's bad, and it's like gouge your eyeballs out. It's not fun bad. It's not Bloodsport or How to Train Your Dragon 3 if you're digging. Like, it's... Did I even say Bloodsport? I meant
What's wrong with
Bloodshot.
Bloodsport? Yeah, Bloodsport's
yeah,
great.
Blood- yeah,
Bloodshot.
Bloodsport's a
Bite
great
your
movie.
tongue.
Bloodshot.
How dare you talk bad about Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Bloodshot.
Kumite. Kumite.
I mean,
So,
I take
yeah.
Bloodsport over both of these. They were gonna make a Lady Bloodsport. Did you ever hear about that?
Really?
No.
That was what it
I
was
would-
called too. It's a dumb name, but
But I would never take... Batman vs Superman is always last on my list because it is a fucking nightmare. I would watch all the bad Matrix movies 100 times before watching Batman vs Superman.
I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm so curious. Yeah, I know it won't be better, but I can't even imagine what it will be. Like,
See,
I don't know.
because it's 4
You know-
hours long, it's going to be so much bullshit like background story stuff and just random scenes with Batman and Wonder Woman talking and about like murder and stuff. And Aquaman's going to go back to Atlantis like forever. Like, it's
Yeah.
just going to be so much tiring bullshit. I hate that so much.
Finally, we'll get the restored scene where Superman and Wonder Woman talk, and Wonder Woman says, "I heard you did a bunch of murders when you first started."
Yeah.
And Superman's like, "I did do those murders, and I'm glad I did. I think I was right." And Wonder Woman says, "I agree, Superman. I think you were right to do those murders."
Yeah, having watched the movies again and read the text closely, it does seem like that was the right thing to do. The camera angles would support my claim. Is there anything about this that you're interested in?
To see
like-
how much more
I mean-
mustache removal we get.
None. Zero mustache removal. He will have, like, they're only using footage before Joss Whedon, so hypothetically, the mustache does not exist.
Oh, shit. All right.
Wow, this movie fucking sucks, doesn't it? I'm probably gonna watch it. Honestly, I'm not gonna
Oh, me
lie.
too.
I'm gonna sit here and lie to you people.
We're
If
gonna
only 'cause
nitpick
we're gonna,
it.
Yeah, if only because we're gonna do
Yeah.
it for this podcast. But I'll admit I am interested to see, in the way that I think I said this on a stream once. I don't think I've ever said it on the podcast. I never regret watching a movie, no matter how much I hate it. I always get something out of the experience, and I am certain I will get something out of the experience of watching the Snyder Cut. That thing will not be enjoyment or entertainment, but it will be something.
Yeah. It's not going to be a good movie. I mean, you never know. But
It's the
it
belief
probably
that
won't.
feeling pain is better than feeling nothing at all.
I mean, at the
Oh,
end, do
man.
they, like, the plot points that are bad are still going to be there. There's no way
Yeah.
at the end they don't go fight Steppenwolf and Superman shows up and punches him. It's just the punching is kind of different because of, like, camera angles, and he's wearing a black suit. But, like, it still is a movie about them fighting a villain with no personality whatsoever. So, like,
Right, but he'll look less dumb now, or actually
Yeah,
more
he'll look-
dumb. But Zack Snyder
Yeah, I
thinks
don't
it's
know.
less dumb.
he'll look less like a cartoon and more like the Shredder in the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So I guess that's something.
Hooray!
What you know? What else is weird about the trailer? Anybody know why it was in square? Like it wasn't in a normal aspect ratio. It was like cut off on the side.
I honestly did not notice that.
I think it's because they didn't want to render sides. They were just like, it's going to cost too much money we cannot get this out on Saturday if we render the whole thing. And Zack Snyder's like, well, don't render the sides. We'll just not do it. And then it'll be quicker. And I think if that's true, it's the smartest thing he's ever done. Because it's absolutely genius. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be in 4 parts. We're going to see that over 4 weeks.
4 1-hour parts. They'll do the
And
Quibi model. It'll be like 1 part per week. Make it like the Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh, please no.
Juice it.
What would it
What's
be?
gonna
It'd
be
be
on the next
low. low chews or something. I don't know. Long chews. What's the opposite of a quick bite?
We've been over this so many times.
I know, but we still
yeah,
don't
long
know.
chew is
Long chew or like long like suck. I don't know, but it's gonna be one of those, and we'll see. It's on HBO Max too.
Sorry, guys. I just read an Aesop's fable about how slavery's good.
well.
Cool.
Pass on that one. Thank you very much.
All right. So then we got rid of we got past this Justice League thing, and yeah, it's happening. I'm so glad we rewarded all of that toxic fandom because now we're getting an actual movie that's good. And it might be this Batman movie. The last.
Oh
thing.
wait.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
we talk about Suicide Squad?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, Suicide
talk
Squad.
about that, too.
That came before Batman. There's a Suicide Squad movie, directed by James Gunn. James Gunn's weird passion project, where according to legend, he went into the DC office and they said, "We will do whatever you want." And he said, "I want to make a Suicide Squad movie." And executives that I assume had no idea that was even on the table were like, I guess," which is awesome because the first one sucks, and as a premise, it's
First
no
one's
brainer.
So bad.
It's maybe the worst movie I've seen in a theater once. Kingsman, obviously, worst movie I've ever seen in a theater twice. But the
Kingsman
Justice
1, the original?
Kingsman 2. No,
2.
Gold Circle.
I know.
I just want to make that clear because I love Kingsman 1. I have a poster of it here. It's one of my favorites.
I will say I actually share your opinions about the Kingsman movies. First one's great, second one's garbage.
What do you think about the ending where he has butt sex with her? Not a fan?
I feel like there is a point to it that I understand, but at the same time, I also get why some people don't like it.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't in there just because I think it kind of muddies up what is a pretty flawless ending. But yeah, I know what he's going for. I've heard his explanation of it. I'm like, yeah, I see it. It's like a James Bond thing. Sure. I don't love that she's his girlfriend in the second one because
I think
he just
that was like one of my first signs of the second movie where it was like, oh, this movie's not gonna get it, huh? That they actually like continued that and it wasn't a one-off joke.
Right? That is the biggest problem with that movie. And otherwise it is flawless. But so anyway,
Incorrect.
Kingsman, where did this one? Oh, Suicide Squad. Right. So he came in and he made a Suicide Squad movie. He got to pick his own Suicide Squad, it seems like, and he picked some randos. Some you maybe have heard of, but
so
mostly
many randos?
yeah,
Oh my
a
God,
couple
I've
that almost
said
no one
this-
had heard of.
I've said this a couple times. This is the greatest collection of fucking Who that we've ever seen in a comic book movie.
So without going through all of that, well, okay, so the ones that are returning from previous movies, we have Harley again, we have Boomerang again, we have Rick Flag again, Amanda Waller's back. I don't think there's any others that are in the original.
That is correct.
I don't think so. No.
And what's everyone's favorite new guy or girl? But
Polka Dot
new
Man.
squatter. Anybody have one? DJ, you go first.
Polka Dot Man. Easily Polka Dot Man.
Yeah,
Rat.
I'm excited for him.
Rat Catcher 2.
I'd love
what's
that it's
the
a 2.
part of
I
that?
love that it's a
Yeah.
2, especially
Yeah.
because, so, hey, listen, this is a common thing in comic books where there's multiple
Yeah.
versions of a character, and like, in like wikis and fans will refer to them as like Clayface 1, Clayface 2, etc., just to distinguish between the different versions of the character. There's only ever been one Ratcatcher. There is no Ratcatcher 2. Who is this Ratcatcher 2? I don't know, but I love it.
I imagine it's his daughter or something, but it is a gender-swapped version of the original Ratcatcher, which I think is smart because then if you assume, as a lot of us have, there is a core squad and a squad that dies immediately, if she is part of the core squad, which it seems like she is, there's a very good balance gender-wise in terms of main characters, which is nice.
Yeah.
I want to throw my hat in for Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker might be the most interesting character. Captain America with guns, played by John Cena.
The,
I have a
the
feeling
inspiration for the comedian in Watchmen.
that's right. Yeah, I think he could be a lot of fun, and I think it's gonna be interesting because that movie. So it's weird because there's the idea with Peacemaker is he is the most extreme version of like peace through violence, but kind of like government, like nuclear weapon, kind of like government deterrent American super soldier guy. Even though in Marvel Comics, that guy exists a million times. And besides the one they invent in the 50s, Crazy 50s Cap, to like fill the void, there is U.S. Agent, who is the Captain America that does whatever the government wants. And he's going to show up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. But we don't know when that's coming out. So it might be that we get Suicide Squad first. But Suicide Squad's about 25% filmed, I think. So it seems like we'll get that second. So I hope that we see Captain America in, like, you know, the past. And we're like, that's a Captain America. And then we get U.S. Agent. And we're like, oh, he's a little worse. And then we get Peacemaker. And it's like, oh, he's way worse. Like, he's like Punisher, pretty much. And I just love his costume with that ridiculous silver hat.
Yeah, I'm so glad they used the old costume.
Yeah. But I think the best character in it is TBK, or TDK.
Who is
which
that?
Is Nathan Fillion's character. So
Right. But like,
Diggins, you know this one, or I can
TDK?
TDK. So Nathan Fillion is playing a character named TDK, and that was all that's all. So him and Taika Waititi are in this movie. Taika Waititi was given no character. It seems like he'll be voicing King Shark. Because King
sense.
Shark also had no character attached to him. Steve Agee, I believe, the comedian, did the mocap for him, but it doesn't seem like he'll do the voice. And Nanue is a Hawaiian. So I could see them being like, yeah, but he's also from New Zealand, and I hope he's not Korg again. I hope
Right.
I hope they do something a little different with it, but it's
I feel
an
like they're all
interesting
smart
energy,
enough to, you know, make it different. Taika Waititi's a good actor, so
right? And like IG-88 was different. Taika Waititi was in a movie back in 2011. We'll get to it eventually.
one
But
day.
TDK is Nathan Fillion's character, and he is a character named Arms Fall Off Boy, who is a guy who can rip his arms off and beat you to death with him. And I imagine TDK stands for The Detachable Kid, which is what his character was originally called, and then they like changed it when they decided to go more all in on the goofiness, I believe. But some people think he might be something like they might give him a different name, but that's who he is. Like, he can't run from the name The Detachable Kid, but he
Right.
kind of wants to try to be something cooler, like not Dark Knight, but like the Dope Killing Man or something. But yeah.
Total dismemberment killer.
Yeah. Who do you think will die first out of everybody in here? Besides,
Oh,
obviously, what's his name? Pete Davidson, because there's no fucking way he's for more than a second and a half.
Blackguard is dead immediately. Probably
Yeah.
Mindbender, right? He's like...
It
right?
is
Mindbender.
It is a bold move where instead of having like all the characters who are obviously main characters and then also Slipknot is there, like in the first movie, it's like everyone is like, well, this guy's fucking nothing. So
Yeah.
how can you tell who's gonna die?
So wait, DJ Mindbender. I'm assuming you're thinking the Thinker,
Or the Thinker,
Peter
yeah,
Capaldi's
sorry, the
character.
Thinker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Mindbender is the guy who who
Yeah,
is he?
no. Yeah, the Thinker.
Oh, I hope
Yeah.
not. Peter
Him.
Capaldi could be so fun in one of these.
I have a feeling. Well, the thing with the Thinker is he's probably not in the field. If he's anything like the episode of the Justice League show where they had the Suicide Squad try to infiltrate the Watchtower, the Clock King is pulling strings from behind the field. He's like the quarterback, giving everybody the plays. I have a feeling that's what Thinker will be doing. I have a feeling he's the man in the chair. I think Flula
okay.
Borg's javelin will probably be the first to go.
That's
that
not
is-
not a bad prediction.
And I have a feeling he will be killed via one of his own javelins, hoisted by his own petard, as it were. Because
actually-
he has the dopiest
Sorry.
costume.
Can I throw a different one out there?
Yeah.
I like to go with Mongal.
Mongal's a weird one, too. I'm not
'Cause-
familiar with that character, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's so random that my guess would be maybe they do even on the gender, so one chick dies, one guy dies, or keep it relatively even. And I feel like out of all the lady characters, hers would be the one to go.
There's another girl in there that I'm less familiar with.
Alice Braga's character.
Yeah.
I cannot even remember.
Because even no one knows, not like no one knows, but she's probably the most obscure. I think there's a shot, and I would say this is a wild left field shot. They kill Idris Elba. Bloodsport.
Oh, no.
What if they faked it? What if it was all a big sham, and all of the footage they filmed with him was just they're editing him out of it, and he's not there?
I feel like he wouldn't be down with that.
I think you could do it. Give him a boatload of money. How
God.
does he have time to film both Idris v. Block or whatever in this?
Yeah, man, if he would do that, I don't know.
And DJing on the side. The man is too busy to do all these movies.
Ready? Harley. They're going to kill Harley.
I would love that. I think she's overstayed. Not overstayed or welcome, but I think we've seen
that wasn't an
her.
okay of like, I would hate that. That was an okay of like, yeah, they're going to kill their moneymaker, sure.
Well, they can bring her back. Like, they're going to reset everything anyway. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is also like not technically a like in-universe movie, and also Birds of Prey didn't do super well even before the pandemic, so I wouldn't be shocked if they're like, we could keep this character going, but maybe not in the movies. Maybe this is more something that like hardcore fans like that like buy comics and buy video games, but maybe the general public is kind of tired of what they kind of read as a knockoff Deadpool. Fair or not fair as an assessment that may be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're... I think that'd be crazy. I'm really worried, honestly, the Captain Boomerang is going to be killed early on as a way to raise the stakes as like, oh, you thought all the originals were safe. No, he's dead.
Right.
It's Rick Flag and Harley, and that's it.
There's no way that DC would dare endanger U.S.-Australian relations like that.
Well, that's the thing. Now they have a New Zealand relationship. They're even better. New Zealand is the safe house in virus land. Like they've got it under control. They're probably going to overtake Australia in spider and kangaroo production in the next couple of years. You know, I have a feeling that there's probably also another Australian in that cast somewhere. Margot Robbie, also Australian. So, you know, the Australianness of this cast is strong. Also, King Shark looks great. I think this is my favorite King Shark out of the 50 we've seen in the last couple of years. It is like he seems like a basic kind of. He's a shark, and he wears
and he's a
pants.
king.
Yeah, he's a king.
I don't know. I think he's nowhere near as good as Ron Funch's King Shark.
Oh my gosh, Diggins!
Just trying to get your goat.
Diggins, you've been wrong before, and like 50 times in this episode. DJ, I'm worried.
Like when
DJ...
I said Kingsman 1 is good, was that a time I was wrong?
No, that was right. DJ.
Yeah, what's up?
Do we have to wake up Diggins again? Do you have
my
pots
God,
and pans?
like
I think we might need pots and pans. I think Diggins is having a dream, a bad dream, where he's saying all the things wrong. I'm realizing now this makes sense because he hates Ratcatcher and he loves Captain Boomerang. And
we should do a special episode of Mostly Nitpicking where we just like go to task with all of like Diggins' opinions. Like I could talk for 45 minutes on How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Well, that's why I want Diggins to make the video about How to Train Your Dragon 3, and then we can because you know, put your money where your mouth is, and
listen, I'm lazy.
Put your teeth where your toothless is, and then because
then he wouldn't be toothless.
That's true, but he has teeth. He has like secret teeth
right?
because the movies are bad. But also, I think
that is the main thrust of my argument. Yes,
it's a fair point. I think the point of, you know what? Speaking of that, How to Train Your Dragon 2 also falls into the Kingsman 2 paradox, or like the Kingsman 2 like failures, where it's just like, whoops, we thought this character was dead, but wouldn't you know it, they're fine. It was the whole point of the last movie, but you know what? They're back. Mommy's back now. That's more of like an Ant-Man 2, we saved Mommy from the quantum realm thing, but still, it's like, man, I think that's like the last refuge of a movie that has no ideas. It's like, let's bring her back from the dead. But anyway, I love how on the subreddit and on Twitter, DJ eats sandwiches and Diggins falls asleep. Those are just the things. Mm-hmm. It's what we get all the time.
Something's gonna happen to you now. You know?
Oh,
yeah,
I can't even wait. You're probably going to yell at me about the Snyder Cut stuff. That sounds about right. That's
Actually,
the
I
that
think
usually
your thing
works.
kind of already is Quibi. People make fun of you for Quibi.
And they're fair, except for all the content on it is great now.
Yeah,
The
it is.
God,
three
they
A
can't
plus
even be a
shows on
little bit
Quibi.
true.
I guess I'll never find out because I'm never paying for Quibi.
Same.
Go to the
get me-
drive-in that they set up. I don't know.
Get me my free tier with my Quibucks, and I'm all in. I might even buy some Quibucks.
Move to Australia, where Margot Robbie and Jai Courtney
I
can enjoy their
know.
free Quibucks.
Yeah, it's the new shining city on a hill. I think Australia's got it.
Yeah, all they need to do is sort out their politics and not have coronavirus anymore. Which, they're on their way.
Also, a lot of deadly animals. Like I think people forget about Australia. Like, there's a lot of things that can murder you in
I
Australia.
want to say 8 out of the 12 poisonous spiders live in Australia or something like that. It's a ridiculous number of them. But we have 2, and we barely have them. We got the black widow and the brown recluse, and how many times in your life have you seen a black widow spider? You could convince me those were invented, by a cartoonist one day.
Yes, the Black Widow.
The black widow spider. How do you know it's a black widow? It's got a little red emblem on its butt. Okay. All right, we got one more. Wait, anything else about Suicide Squad? They've described it as a 1970s war movie, kind of. So Apocalypse Now or Dirty Dozen or something like that.
I love the aesthetic, the logo, the costumes. Rick Flag looks so much better.
That's something that I think we were pretty hot on about the original Suicide Squad. So that's one thing I'm kind of willing to hold my praise. Although no Joker, which is great.
Also, James Gunn, good track record, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, nobody had their character flaws tattooed on their head, so I'm not quite sure how to feel about them.
How do we know who has whose back? Because she will kill you with the sword that traps the souls of its victims. If it is not painfully, explained to us, the audience and the characters. How do we know if anything is or is not a killer app? Do you think they'll have killer apps? Bombs in heads?
Here's what I want to know. Maybe killer app, but Todd's no, that's stupid. Here's what I want to know. Is there going to be a goddamn song with Rick Ross and Skrillex where they talk about a purple Lamborghini?
I mean, what would it be now? It would be that kid from
Something
the DNC and I don't know, kid I don't know, Little Yachty. What's the really out of left field thing that some executive thinks is what kids like? That's it though. Yeah, Billie Eilish and Diplo.
Ooh, yeah.
Two. And the song's gonna be
something cheap.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be pretty sick though. It's gonna fly up the charts, and also because that's Suicide Squad. That one. What was that song? Heathens. I kept hearing that on the radio.
Yeah.
You couldn't avoid that one. But that was back when we thought that band
everywhere.
was good instead of boring. Whoever that was.
Get wrecked, 21 Pilots or whoever you were.
21 Pilots. That's right. That's who it was. Yeah, Suicide Squad looks fun. We got one more thing to cover in DC Fandome before we all give a one-sentence opinion on Green Lantern.
Are we even still
second
doing Green
episode.
Lantern? Is this just a DC Fandome episode?
Do you want to hold on
is.
to it until next week?
Yeah. Well,
I
Alright,
think
that's
that
fine.
we're already at 2 hours.
I mean, we can
How
also
about-
talk there.
How about we tease it with our one-sentence opinions and then do the full episode next week?
Yeah, that sounds fair. All right. So that last thing we have to talk about. I'm trying to think of a funny thing, but I can't. It's the Batman. Matthew Reeves is the hero of the thing. A Matthew appears in the dark of the DC virtual space. Did you guys watch this panel? DJ, did you see the panel?
I did.
He lives in a hologram now. They
Oh,
put him
boy.
in the 3D virtual boy, fucking, Second Life area, which is fun. And yeah. All right. So last thing, Matt Reeves, the heroic Batman guy. I think we already introduced him. What do we think about this? This is a movie that comes out next year, maybe. It seems like a lot of it has already been filmed, although not all. Robert Pattinson is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Other actors are in it. We'll get to them as we go.
Presumably.
What were you guys' impressions of this?
I thought the trailer looked good.
I was really into this trailer, actually.
Yeah, I think it's the best part of the whole fandom thing, and easily, like, the best looking Batman. Like, a lot of the things about it seem like the best thing that Batman has done.
I mean, it's only a trailer, so, like, this could be totally wrong. And I am on the record as saying I don't think trailers are particularly good at telling you if movies are going to be good or not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, or even, I'm not sure they ever were, really. But that being said, this looks like it could be a return to a more Nolan style rather than Snyder style Batman that does have the, like, grimmer, more serious, quote unquote, trappings around it, but pairs that with actually being an intelligent and, you know, in some ways genuinely more mature story.
Not just straight murder for murder's sake.
Yeah, like, because part of what makes especially with The Dark Knight, like, part of what makes it work as a more serious take on Batman is it's, like, trying to deal with more serious themes. And so it's not just like, we're being grim because I think it's cool when Batman murders people. But otherwise it's just a normal superhero story, except my Batman murders people. It's like, hey, you know, let's talk about some stuff. And this feels like it's going to be more in that mode. I'm a big fan of unconventional Riddlers. So this
who's your
this
favorite
seems like
unconventional Riddler, Diggins, besides this one, obviously?
What's that? You know, the like Batman Year One style of comics. What's the one with the Riddler? I forget the name of it.
I don't know. Is he in Batman Year One? You're talking about, like, the...
I mean, they made a bunch of, like, Year One style ones, like the Long Halloween and other ones like that. I feel like there's a Riddler one.
Well, he's in... I mean, I believe the Riddler shows up in Long Halloween. I feel like Year One and Long Halloween are pretty different.
Maybe I'm completely...
I'm trying to think. So Long Halloween is, like, a bunch of guys. That's the whole, like, Long Halloween. It's just kind of a who's who of Batman's rogues. Year One, I don't think he shows
my brain
up.
might be completely ruined then. I don't know.
Correct
Oh,
answer
no. I'm looking at it here. In continuity terms, the Long Halloween continues the story of Batman Year One. I was right.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, also, I believe isn't this trailer or this, like, Batman good inspired by the Long Halloween, or is that, am I totally off?
Yeah,
probably. I
probably.
thought I had heard that somewhere.
I think a lot of them, like, I think. Wow, I didn't know that. Because I thought Long Halloween came before Year One, but I guess I'm wrong. I'm trying to find the. I mean, it sounds right. Yeah, so Batman, the Long Halloween and Year One are, like, the two very popular Batman stories that I think you could just go, like, because Batman v Superman was based off of, like, the death of Superman and the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, so, like, two
it's
stories.
Like both.
Yeah, two super overrated comic book stories. Dark Knight Rises is kind of based off of, like, Nightfall, I guess, where, like, Bane takes over the city.
Sorta.
Yeah. And then Batman, like, the Dark Knight is based off of whatchamacallit. I had it. Oh, like the not based off of, but you got your kind of One Bad Day Joker. What's that? The one that the new movie is based off of, like the Joker movie.
Oh,
what the heck is that called?
Joker? No. He's thinking of
Yeah.
No, there's
I
a
want to say, like,
famous Alan Moore comic where he tells
Yeah.
that story.
Oh.
It's where we find out he's a stand-up comedian, and that's not exactly what this one is, but he's got the same kind of like everybody needs just one push to go to madness, and that's similar as
it's the one where Barbara Gordon gets paralyzed, isn't it?
Yeah, what the
Killing
heck is
Joke?
it called?
Yeah,
Yes,
Killing
that's
Joke.
right, the
That's
Killing
it.
Joke. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's influences there, and then Begins is kind of year 1 too. So
Year
it does
1, 2?
seem like
that's just year 3, Nando. Come on.
That's true. It does seem like that's the cycle, though. It's like you do a year 1, and then you do you do a Joker story. Although this one seems to have Jokery influences because there are Joker gang adjacent guys. There's no Joker in this, but then and then you do like something close along. Like I think those 7 or 8 we named are like the popular Batman stories. Although I think there's a couple that are skipped that I think might also work their way into this. Hush being the big one. A lot of people see Hush is also a Riddler-centric story, and this Riddler just kind of looks like Hush, so that's part of it. And then you got like Court of Owls, which is new that some people like, doesn't really like this. But yeah, like we've named most of the big Batman stories, besides the one where he gets a cape that turns him into all the colors of Batman, which they still haven't done. Those cowards. But yeah, I forget where we were with this.
We were talking about the style of the new Batman movie and how it's kind of pulling
tone
from
and
other things.
Yeah, I think those two are right. I think Long Halloween year 1 does, like, I want to say, because I'm pretty sure Penguin's a big part of year 1. Maroni's a big part of year 1. But I want to say, or not year 1, excuse me, Long Halloween. But I feel like the biggest part of Long Halloween in the comics is Two-Face, who does not appear to be in this movie, although maybe he's a character, or like he's secretly a character that is played by an actor from a Green Lantern movie, but it's unclear. But it seems like kind of Riddler will be filling that void as just a guy who kills people for justice and like whatever. But yeah, we got Robert Pattinson as Batman. What did you guys think of him?
I think he looks good.
Yeah. Listen, I think we've gotten plenty of Bruce Wayne. We've gotten plenty of good Bruce Wayne as like millionaire playboy, glad-handing, going around being a happy boy. I don't think we've gotten very much good Bruce Wayne is a reclusive weirdo that it's hard to talk to. And I am all for getting a good version of that.
I do think we need...
Good.
Yeah, we do need more of that. Because he is, like, he's so charming in all of his movies. Although, we don't know. That might come up, too. We've seen very little Bruce Wayne.
I mean, some of the looks we got at him, even as being Bruce Wayne, he didn't look like a man that I would want to talk to at a party.
That's fair. So this, and from what we know, this movie takes place in year 2 of Batman's like stint as Batman.
It's gonna be far enough along that the police know him.
Yeah, the police know who he is, and his costume isn't just like sweatpants. It's like a big giant metal suit.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Yeah. But he so you got Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I think the Bruce Wayne is interesting. That's my microwave being like excited about making me food. I think the Batman looks awesome. It's very Arkham-y, but it's also very like it's smaller than the Arkham suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Arkham suit is like Human Triangle, you know, Batman the Animated Series kind of thing, where this is like a slightly leaner version of that. And I was never not sold on the cowl, but I think the cowl looks awesome, and I can't imagine someone not being sold on it still, because it looks perfect. Like, that's so much better than... It's the right amount of pointy ear, where it's like a little bit pointy, but not super pointy, which is great.
The Batfleck pointy, there was barely any point on there. It looked like
might as well have been Catman with that pointiness. Why bother? But then we got some villains. Well, okay, let's say allies first. We got Gordon is the first character I think we see besides a mysterious figure with duct tape. But Gordon is played by the guy from Westworld who's a robot, but he doesn't know it, but maybe he's not, or whatever. What's his name? Jeffrey Wright, James Bond's friend. And he has the perfect James Gordon face, which is he's so done with this today. He just wants to go home. I think that works. It is weird that he's working with Batman 2 years in. That feels like a little too quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not like worried about it, but just in my brain, that I don't know.
Just seems
Batman,
fast.
Yeah, like Batman and the police shouldn't like each other. It should take a while, but maybe that's just we don't know because they're making a show about Gordon too. It's going to be its own HBO show that is connected to this. So maybe over the course of that, Gordon will like get so like distraught by the police that he'll just decide to do his own thing and hire this weirdo with the metal suit.
Police are too corrupt in Gotham.
But yeah, then we get a little bit of him, random other cops. Batman shows up. Batman is also wearing what's the thing? Eyeshadow, which is awesome. I like that.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah. And then we start seeing some villains. So let's start. Other Batman ally. We get a little bit of Alfred, played by Andy Serkis. Monkey's own, Planet of the Apes' own Andy Serkis. It's fine.
Yeah. No comment. Keep everything.
Seems like another actor that could play that role. I think any older English actor can play that role. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
It seems
to be
like
charming, like Michael Caine.
Yeah, and what the guy from the Snyder movie, I think he's pretty good.
He's fine.
Yeah,
Jeremy
like I think
Irons?
Jeremy Irons' movie is bad, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we start getting into antagonists. So it seems like there's 4 in this movie. One we don't really see. I believe Sal Maroni is played by, I already forgot this. I was talking about this yesterday. Or maybe it's Carmine Falcone. One of the 2 Onis is played by Jesus from The Big Lebowski, whatever his name is. John Turturro. I don't believe he makes an appearance in this trailer, which is fine. Who knows how big of a role he'll play. Although, like, usually in a Batman story, the mobsters kind of fade out once the supervillains show up. So
yeah. So it's probably going to be like Batman Begins, where it's like maybe he's the antagonist at first, but he's quickly sidelined.
Yeah, maybe he gets a face full of duct tape pretty early on.
Who
by
is
a transformer.
Batman?
Yeah.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
And then we get the 3 antagonists in order of who the fuck is thatness. We'll start with the least who the fuck is that. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Interesting.
I don't love it.
Really?
What don't you love?
Why not?
I actually really don't like the way the ski mask with the ear thing. I just don't like the look.
You want a more intentional Catwoman?
Kind of,
who, like,
honestly.
has ears. Yeah. I get that.
I actually really like the Nolan Catwoman design.
The Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
For some reason, I saw it and I was like, this is off. Yeah.
Well, how much superpowers do you want your Catwoman to have? Because sometimes they have some, sometimes they have none. Anne Hathaway had 0. Obviously, Michelle Pfeiffer had plenty. Halle Berry had nothing but. And, like, I think that's it. But, like, because I don't think this one has any. She just seems like some sort of safecracker.
I kind of prefer the nun version of Catwoman.
Yeah, same.
I like a little bit. I want her to be able to
talk to cats.
Batman, and with by using a whip to swing through the city of the Gotham skyline. I have a hard time believing that a rando can do that, but someone with a slight amount of unspecific cat powers, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess she can get away from him. But I have a feeling she won't be in the movie that much. I don't know. That's just I can't see how she plays into this story. Besides, maybe she steals something from someone important, and then Batman has to like work with her. But I have a feeling they're setting her up for a future movie.
I really hope there's not too much of that, because that stuff always kills
Really?
these movies.
No, but like I want to like I don't want to work because like I think Selena Kyle, assuming that's which Catwoman this is, which like who knows, maybe it could be Faith Justice or whatever the name of Halle Berry's one is, but assuming it's like your standard Batwoman, I want like a kind of long-term on again off again relationship with Bruce Wayne, and I'm fine with in a movie that she's not the main character in introducing her and Batman's like, who the heck is that? Oh, I guess I got work to do with this stuff, and then she shows up in a future movie as a bigger player.
I'm fine with a little bit of that kind of thing, but I'm saying, like, these movies always get killed by the people getting too far ahead of themselves and being like, we gotta stuff in a bunch of stuff for future movies that we can use later, and, like,
Right.
they don't have a plan to use it in this movie. Like, if Catwoman shows up, plays a small but important role, and then, like, is available for future usage, like, that's totally fine. If Catwoman just shows up in a totally pointless scene and basically looks at the camera and goes like, there's gonna be another movie and I'll be in it, then, like, I don't want that.
Right. I could see that. I mean, I imagine there's going to be some... I can't help but imagine if this is based off of Long Halloween, it will be... one of the themes will be this, like, superhuman... Not even superhuman, but just, like, super criminal escalation. And I think it would be reasonable to throw her in there as a thing of, like... Yeah, they're not all serial killers. Some of these people just kind of have a gimmick and do a crime that you wouldn't normally do, but it's, you know, it's Gotham, so all bets are off. But, yeah, she's fine. I mean, I like the casting, and she fights Batman. She seems to fight him good. Yeah. I don't know, she's a cat burglar, whatever. Next up, you got Paul Dano as the Riddler, kind of. He does riddles, I guess.
The
so
Riddler.
yeah, he could be the
throws some
Clue
riddles.
Master, Dickens, Stephanie Brown's father, who leaves clues, which these seem to be riddles, but still, who knows? Maybe.
I mean, in order for that to be the case, someone at DC would have had to have let Stephanie Brown out of her cage. And
Well,
I
Stephanie
don't think
Brown
that's
can be in
ever
her
happened.
cage. Her dad can be out of his cage. Johnny Brown or whatever his name is. He can go
guess.
do his own thing. He just can't
What if-
ever mention having sex with a woman and like creating any. I mean, he can, you know, but it can't be Stephanie.
I mean, what if it turns out it wasn't the Riddler this whole time? It was actually Calendar Man.
I'm cool with that because so you could do a bunch of things with that, right? You could do Riddler. I think it's way early for Hush, but so have either guys read Hush, the Batman storyline from like the early 2000s maybe?
I haven't read it, but I'm familiar with it.
So like I'm pretty sure the plot line is a guy who's kind of Bruce Wayne's friend from like being a child is obsessed with Bruce Wayne, and I guess he figures out he's Batman or something. Gets plastic surgery and like kind of takes over Bruce Wayne. Not like takes over Bruce Wayne, but as in an attempt to like become Bruce Wayne. And he's got bandages all over his face and some guns, but also he does pretty much does a Nightfall where he just unleashes all of the criminals and like sets enough things in motion that Batman has to fight everybody, and by the time he's done, he's pretty much dead. But I want to say in that story, Riddler has cancer and he's dying, and he kind of sets most of this up with Hush. So I could see a world where this Riddler dies at the end of this movie because of some sort of corporate vendetta he has against villains that poisoned his like wife or something. I don't know. I think that's that kind of a reach, but it feels kind of hushy. And I don't see this Riddler surviving a movie because he's so extreme. So I don't know. I don't. Yeah, but he also he doesn't have a face. He doesn't have a bowler hat. He does have question marks. He leaves little cards. But besides that, we have no idea what his deal is. Which I'm cool with.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's not coming out for a while, so it's not like we need to know everything right now anyway.
Yeah. And he has duct tape. He kills people with duct tape. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a
It's
thing.
new. Yeah. And then the last guy, the most important guy, Colin Farrell as Penguin. What's going on
Was
there?
Penguin. I don't know. Man.
It has been completely confirmed by people that worked on the movie that is Colin Farrell as Le Penguin.
Le Pinguino. El Pinguino. Pinguino.
He looks great. It's a penguin if I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at that guy and I was like, is that the Penguin? But I wasn't sure because nothing else about this seemed very penguin-y.
Yeah. I think we've known that's going to be, Oswald Cobblepot, potentially Penguin in this movie. But I feel like we saw shots from the set that made him just look like it was Colin Farrell. And maybe at some point he'll become the Penguin. But
Artemis Foul's dad?
Artemis Foul's dad from all of the versions of the movie Shut Up alone. And only he is the Penguin. And he was always in it. He plays Oswald Cobblepot, I would assume, friend to Bruce Wayne from childhood, which is the way you make a Batman villain make sense if they don't already make sense. They know Bruce Wayne, and then they're kind of like him, but a little bit different. I don't want to say his parents are abusive or something. I don't know. But yeah, he seems like he will be. I don't know. What do you think? How do you think these three villains, four if you count your whatever Oni mobster, how do you think they all fit together?
Well, I assume Penguin will be the lead. Would be my guess.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
Riddler's obviously the lead.
Yeah.
Well,
His
sorry,
question marks were the date in the trailer.
Sorry, I guess my
Particular
lead,
date.
the one pulling it all together, because that's always his deal, right? He's he bankrolls stuff, pulls it all together, supplies weapons and stuff.
Well, I see him as more of a middleman in that case. He is giving Riddler some information maybe or something that Riddler has to, Batman has to catch him to get information on a crime that Riddler's about to pull.
Okay, sure.
So, but, yeah, I think, but then, how does Catwoman fit into, is there something she can conceal that's important?
Batman's heart.
Oh, God, if only.
Oh.
I mean, all of his other girlfriends are stupid, so might as well.
It is possible if we're...
Didn't they get married for a hot second?
Well, it was a trick. It was all a scheme, but now they're in a comic together, although I don't know if it's been delayed because of all the...
It was a scheme to what end?
Bane wanted to ruin Batman, break the bats, by getting a Catwoman to marry him. But also, I think she actually does decide to do that, or, they go on a vacation together, and he's, just doing his own business. She's not married to him, but they're just hanging out. But because there's a Cat in the Bat storyline that I think exists in the main continuity, that Tom King wrote, and I don't know if it's out yet though because of COVID stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
It's possible that maybe she'll be... I don't know how much they're going to utilize flashbacks, but maybe she's part of some kind of flashback when he was, early Batman, or maybe he's just, Bruce Wayne, and she breaks into the mansion. And, I mean, it would be weird to just introduce her to show her, but maybe, she'll provide some kind of inspiration. He'll learn, I couldn't see you because you wore all black, or, something stupid like that. Some
Except
kind of
for her
inspiration
whole
for the
face.
costume.
It's her whole Zoe Kravitz face. Here, I'm going to throw out a plot. So I like this, and none of this has been even kind of confirmed or leaked. I like Riddler being after corporate types for some sort of chemical thing that has caused him cancer, some sort of Wayne Foundation adjacent thing, because he seems to also hate Bruce Wayne. But maybe there's some sort of file that proves all the guilt. And maybe Catwoman wants it for some reason, too, or something.
Blackmail.
And Batman tries to get it, and Catwoman's there. That's a guess. But I have a feeling Riddler will die in this movie, but not at the hand of Batman. Because that's the one thing. So we saw a little bit of Batman combat, where he beats up some rando.
Pretty savage.
Yeah, he fucks him up. What do you think, Jiggins? All right, teach it. We on the pots and pans?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm awake. I was actually reading about how the Batman Catwoman marriage went. That's what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Everyone hates it, but yeah, I don't know. What did you learn? What are they up to?
I actually had just gotten to it when you asked me a question.
Kissing a bunch on the beach. That's all I know. He has a mustache now because he's getting reshot. But no, yeah. So what did you think of the combat, Diggins? That one bit where he beats the hell out of that guy.
I mean, seemed pretty fucking savage, which felt like the point. Which, I'm okay with that as a concept. I mean, we'll see how they use it. Because the thing I'm always worried about with a dark Batman story is the Frank Miller problem, where it's like you see the dark Batman story and you're like, this is like a thing about how this sort of indulgence and vengeance and such is bad, or it's about a serious issue, and then like you really think about it for a second and it's like, actually Frank Miller just thought fascism was good. And so like that I would say I don't find anything in that scene like objectionable. I mean, obviously some people can't watch that kind of violence and that's fine, but I mean, like, in terms of whether or not it's going to be a good movie, I am always a little worried that a Batman movie will be like, it's good to beat up random people really savagely and you should do it. And I'm like,
especially if you're rich. If you're
Especially
rich,
if you're poor.
rich.
If they're
All
poor
day.
and you have mental, issues that should be solved in some other way. But I would say, so if you, DJ, you said you watched the
panel.
press. Yeah, the panel. So I
Yeah.
want to say in it, Matt Reeves said something about like, this Batman hasn't figured out what being Batman
Yeah.
means yet. Or, do you remember what
like-
that was?
He's like, it's a raw Batman. It's a Batman who's still figuring out who he is. Like, so I don't know.
okay.
So like
I mean,
I can read into that some intention where it's like, oh, maybe he's a little too far on that side of the edge, and then he'll pull back when he learns a lesson, as
Yeah.
opposed to like the Zack Snyder Cypher Batman, where it's like, is he still killing guys, or did the Superman thing change him? Which one do you want Zack Snyder Batman to be? And that's the one it is.
I mean,
we'll see
I'm
I'm
how
willing
it
to
goes.
give it a shot.
I am willing to see where that goes. Like I said, like it creates the question in my mind, but I do not find the actual scene objectionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Anything else about this one? I don't know. Like, that's kind of it. I want to say we've got all the main characters out.
Good music
He has a
choice,
Batmobile
I
that's
think.
like cool car.
Yeah.
Not a big tank this time.
No. What did you guys think of? Do you remember the music? What was the song in it?
It's a Nirvana song.
It was Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
No, if only. One of these
I can't remember the name of the Nirvana song, but like a slow Nirvana song, just like a slow...
It wasn't "Come As You Are," was it?
No. Do I go to the Google machine?
It was.
Is
Smells Like
Heart
Teen
Shaped
Spirit.
Box Nirvana? No, it's not. Right? What was it? Yeah, it was a Nirvana song.
It was definitely a Nirvana song. That
And
I
we've
can
ragged
say.
on Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah enough that I did like this choice, and I feel like it's like worth mentioning. Although I feel like I remember reading that this Batman movie takes place in the 90s, and it definitely does not. Like,
Something in the way.
He's using computers, and everyone's holding phones. But that's the name of the song?
Something in the way, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool looking.
Yeah.
I think this will probably be a lot of people's definitive Batman.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Lord knows they've had enough, opportunities, so get
Do you
it right
guys
this
like-
time.
Did you guys see Planet of the Apes and all those movies? Like, where do you guys fall on those?
Oh, fine.
I like the new Planet of the Apes movies. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, except James Franco. I don't like James Franco.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. But that movie is good. And then they bring him out of it immediately.
Yeah, that's true. He's
Like
not in
smart
any of the
people.
others.
Yeah. He's a picture later, I think,
Yep.
to remind Caesar of his
Caesar's
humanity.
like, oh yeah, one human's good.
Yeah, but I think the first one. I think the first one's good. I think the first one is actually like a bizarrely good. Like it shouldn't be good.
Like as good as it is, yeah.
Yeah, like that should have been the worst movie, but it was very good.
Yeah, I was very surprised by how much I liked that movie.
Yeah, same. The first one, or the second one and third one are both also good, but yeah, the first one, like those two were different enough as like kind of, oh, what if there was already a virus and humanity had already broken down, but this whole like, what if we humanize this single chimp and see how that goes is very, like, I don't know. That seems like the harder task to pull off. I like him a lot, and I have a lot of faith in him. Did he make Cloverfield? I liked Cloverfield.
Cloverfield was J.J. Abrams, wasn't it?
He produced it, but he didn't direct it. I'm pretty sure.
I think he directed Cloverfield.
I think he did not. Director, yeah, Matt Reeves. So that was like his first big thing, besides some TV stuff, and yeah, he was good in it. He did a good job, but he didn't. Oh wait, so he didn't direct. Wait, fuck, I hate these movies because of the titles. It looks like he didn't direct Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He directed Dawn and War.
Those are 2 and 3.
Yeah,
which were both good movies. So.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And I think like he can direct the hell out of Andy Serkis. So hopefully this is
there you go.
This is a
great reunion.
It's an Alfred-centric Batman story finally.
I held you from the size of your little child.
Yeah.
I will not bury you. I will not bury you, Master Wayne.
What else does he say? Does he have any lines in this that we can read as this?
As
can't
Michael
remember.
Caine.
Something like, you're making quite an impression there, Batman, or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
You look like you're wearing bloody eyeliner.
People.
Yeah. Watch out for Riddler. He seems like quite a dangerous chap.
They have.
I don't know.
They're sitting on a meteor of vibranium, and they haven't even scratched the surface.
While that Catwoman lady you've been hanging around with, she looks like she was in a very good TV show that was unjustly cancelled.
It takes a while to get into it because the TV show is really up its own ass about music records. I gave up on that. Gave up on the accent, but it's a good show. If you're not a huge fan of vinyl records, it's hard to.
I mean, I'm not, but I could appreciate that it was a thing that they clearly had put a lot of care into and was something the character cared about.
Like, it seems like if you have a conversation with someone about it, like if you had a conversation with someone who just loved vinyl records so much, and they were like, this one's good, and this one's good, and this song, I'd be like, God damn it, can I go somewhere else? Like, is there another person I could talk to at this party? Which is a feeling that I got in the very beginning of the show, which passes. But also, anyway, yeah, she's great. Or she's good in other stuff too, probably. I don't know. No, she knows Aquaman.
She's in the best movie of all time.
How to Train Your Dragon 3?
Death Proof?
No, incorrect.
What is she in?
And I
How
hope
to Train
I
Your
am
Dragon 3?
correct
I'm going to
about
throw
this.
that one out again, see if you say it
I'm
by
gonna-
accident.
I'm gonna look like a real asshole if I'm wrong about this, but I don't think I am.
I mean, she might be.
I mean, I don't know if she's in that movie or not. That's not the movie I'm talking about.
Zoe 101?
Okay, she is in this. Okay, I'm right. No,
What is
incorrect.
it? I don't know. I'm just going to Google
feel
it,
like-
so you might as well tell me.
I'm
Oh,
speaking,
Mad
of
Max
course,
Fury Road?
About Mad
Yeah.
Max Fury Road.
Just barely. Oh, and she's in X-Men First Class, another wonderful movie. I forgot she was in that. And Big Little Lies, a show that I couldn't care less about, but I hear is good. Also, she does the voice of Mary Jane in Spider-Man. Also, she's in Fantastic Beast. All of those good things we said are gone. She gets back to zero. She has to prove herself with this
man.
Catwoman thing. Otherwise, yeah, I know. It's not. I don't make the rules, man.
Womp womp.
If you kill a baby with the Titanic, you're the villain of all of the movies now. Also, she's Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie. That's wild.
She? Huh.
Yeah. Did
Maybe
we
that
know
was the
that at the
test run.
time? Yeah, I mean, maybe that was something that was like common knowledge because they have been casting, like fan casting Batman characters for years.
Maybe Zach Galifianakis will be the next Joker.
Oh my god, please.
Yeah.
Only if
Jason
it's Adam
Mantzoukas. Maybe Conan O'Brien is secretly the Riddler. Maybe it's not whatever Milkshake Man from the How to Train Your... Or, what is it? There Will Be Blood. What the heck is that guy's name? Paul Dano. Maybe it's not him. It does appear to be him, though. I think it's weird that he's got glasses over his fancy mask. But it's kind of cool. That's pretty much Fandome. Overall, do you think it was a successful event?
For what they got out of it, all the social media engagement, I'd say yeah.
I mean, yeah. I heard about it, and I don't care. So that's got to be a success, right?
There's actually a part 2 coming in September.
Yeah, there was so
Yeah.
much fandom that they were like, we need to have more than one fandom.
Well, so some of the things, I mentioned something, like I put like a bunch of predictions out, and one of them was Doom Patrol. Apparently, Doom Patrol is second Fandome, which, like, I realized I care about more than, like, 2/3 of the things we just talked about. So, I kind of want that one more. I don't know, like, if they announce something about the Harley Quinn cartoon, that's high on my
Right.
list of things I give a shit about in DC's,
Well,
whole
they
thing.
come through your social media feeds, Nando, and they're like, okay, these are all the things that Nando wants to hear about. So we'll make him watch this first one, not say anything about those ones, and then he has to watch the second one to hear about those
The
ones.
torture.
Oh my god. So wait, the second one is going to be things I like?
Yeah.
That's
They
I
couldn't
want
put
a
him in the
doubled-
first one.
No,
They
right.
couldn't put him in the first one because then you would have watched that and been like, I'm good now, and not watch the second one.
Is it too late for me to say things that I want to see in the second one?
It depends if they filmed it already.
Well, is
I
there going
want
to be a
Joss
third
Whedon to
one?
make a Justice League movie. I don't know. I think that would be good. His own one, and none of the actors are in it. And then it's just like a brand new thing. I think
Just
that'd be
make a
pretty good.
new Justice League movie and let Joss Whedon direct it.
I want a Justice League movie where every time a character falls, they land in Wonder Woman's boobs. I think that's what we need. That movie was good, guys. I don't know what you're thinking, Zack Snyder fans. Yeah, I think it was a success.
God.
I think it was
I don't
weird
know.
that there was. Oh, what are you?
I don't
You
know
disagree,
if that's a reference.
Dickens?
I don't know if that's a reference to a thing that happens in the real Justice League movie or not,
It
and I'm
does.
scared.
It
The
is.
Flash.
Oh, it is.
The Flash.
The Flash
the
does
boy.
it.
I'd never seen the movie, so I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, really? That is the Joss Whedoniest moment that a lot of people will like call out from that movie. Is like, this won't be in Zack Snyder's one.
That's
He'll
probably
fall.
true. And
He'll
like,
fall
that's not
into a
bad-
Bible or something. I don't know. What does Zack Snyder care about?
He'll fall onto the ground and do a Christ pose, and we'll just hold on that for a few minutes.
Yeah, and then smash cut to him in the hospital reading the Fountainhead. Just like I think I made mistakes and now I'm gonna fix them. I'm the Flash. Who knows what actor's playing me now? Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get Green Lantern stuff, but maybe that'll be in Fandome too. I'm
Much like
expecting
this
Marvel
podcast. Surprised we
Yeah.
didn't get Green Lantern stuff.
That's true. All right, real quick, before we actually, because we're going to talk about Green Lantern sometime in the future, probably next week. That's a preview for Green Lantern. You guys want to play the Green Lantern game where I ask you what the IMDb summary for Green Lantern is?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's a
Sure.
good idea.
Yeah, and this will be where we end the Green Lantern talk. I'm
We're not going to give
our.
our one-sentence reviews.
We'll give them afterwards. Start with Dickens. What do you think the plot summary for Green Lantern is? I'll give you a hint. It's one long run-on sentence.
Hotshot pilot Hal Jordan is entrusted with the awesome responsibility of guarding his sector of the universe as the intergalactic cop Green Lantern, but forces in the universe are moving against the Green Lanterns, and he's gonna have to face down his fears to save everybody.
All right. DJ, what do you got?
Ace pilot Hal Jordan is given a great responsibility after a great evil kills a guardian of Earth Sector 2314, Hal must learn to overcome his fear in order to destroy a great evil who is coming to destroy the world.
I'm pretty sure DJ's one had great evil twice. Am I crazy? I
Also,
say,
he
like,
said
DJ's
a couple things that were demonstrably wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure DJ's one was like, Green Lantern gets a power because one guy is killed by a great evil. And then later was like, ... He has to fight a great evil. Anyway.
Great evil. Shut up, I'm tired.
Diggins got two things that are specific. And
I bet one of them's Hotshot Pilot.
Yeah.
Yes. Reckless Test Pilot Hal Jordan is the first line. So it's, excuse me. Here's a bunch of things you guys said that didn't make it in. Reckless whatever. Or not reckless, excuse me. Responsibility. Doesn't matter. And the villain. Nobody cares.
Cool.
So it's Reckless Test Pilot Hal Jordan is granted an alien ring, which neither of you mentioned, that bestows him with otherworldly powers, which, like, yeah, you guys kind of got, and inducts him into, and here's where Diggins wanted, an intergalactic police force, the Green Lantern Corps. Diggins even used the word intergalactic, but he said intergalactic cop, which is fine, but...
I mean, that's just a shorter version, isn't it?
Yeah, if they made it in 2020, he would be a cop for sure.
I mean,
Man,
he is a cop, literally. Yeah,
it doesn't hold up, even like a little bit as like a metaphor for whatever's going on. In like the poor guy, whatever his name is, Peter Skarsgård or Sarsgaard. We already talked about this where we figured out which Skarsgård he is. He's just some random guy. It's so weirdly. I forgot how nothing he is to this plot until he becomes the main character.
I gotta say, if you watch the extended edition, there's a little bit more to him that makes him seem like more of a character.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I
that
have to
makes
watch more of
sense.
this movie, and that would
Again,
be
it's
sad.
like 5 minutes longer. It's not a lot.
Really? Oh.
What did we think of this movie? We're gonna do one sentence summaries of like how we felt about it, and then we're gonna go back to like recommendations, and we'll talk about Green Lantern next week.
Mm-hmm.
Diggin, since you won, what were your thoughts?
All right. Guys, I kind of like this movie.
Oh my god, I don't even have time to...
Boo. Give us two
That's
sentences.
it.
I want a second sentence.
No, absolutely not. Listen next week.
I like that teaser, though. That's professional. That is a
All right,
professional
DJ?
tease. I am surprised that this movie murdered Green Lantern for 9 years, possibly more, depending on where like Green Lantern goes. Like, it's horrible, but I'm surprised that its awfulness murdered Green Lantern, considering there have been worse DC movies to come out since then that didn't murder its respective characters. So that's all I'll say about that.
Okay. I'm going to say I think this movie gets almost everything right except Hal Jordan, which it fucks up in a way that
so
destroys
bad.
the entire movie. But almost every other piece of it, I don't mind or I actually like. But Hal Jordan is so unimpeachably terrible that the movie doesn't work. And
Yeah.
I think Ryan Reynolds, even if he still can, should go back in time and shoot himself before it makes it. Just like he did in the credits of Deadpool 2. Because it is just bizarre. I do think it's crazy that it's killed Green Lantern. I think it's crazy that it's killed the idea of a Green Lantern. Because even more so than like Barry Allen and Wally West, like there are so many Green Lanterns you could just toss into a movie.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
doesn't
like,
have
oh,
to be
it's
Hal
the other
Jordan.
one.
I
What's
think
that?
there's more. I mean, if you include the whole core, there's more versions of Green Lantern than there is of any other character in
Oh.
DC.
Sure, but I would say there are 5 acceptable human Green Lanterns that could each show up in the Justice League, and it wouldn't be weird. You get the
You'd
Hal
have to
Jordan.
sell me. You'd have to sell me pretty hard on Guy Gardner.
Hal Jordan. I don't even like Hal Gardner for this. Or Guy Gardner. Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner. I think Kyle Rayner is fun. And then I think you do Baz and what's the new one called? She's like not a Green Lantern, but she is. Jessica
don't know.
Cruz. She's
I'm
the
not
new
familiar with this
hotness. So I want to say she used to be part of the God damn it. She's like not originally. You know how there's like Ultraman and all his friends.
Yeah.
What the heck?
The Justice Syndicate or the Crime
That's
Syndicate
yes.
of America or whatever it is.
So they have a Green Lantern. So they also have a fake Green Lantern, but this isn't that guy. But they also have someone that's part of, like, the Green Power Corps, and I believe it's Jessica Cruz. And I think, and people are going to be furious, but, like, because I'm butchering this, but I think she gets thrown into, like, the prime, whatever the continuity of the DC, universe is, and becomes a Green Lantern, even though that's not what she originally was. And she is one of the core, like, top 3 Green Lanterns right now. I don't love Guy Gardner, although he shows up in things. I think Guy Gardner works in a story with another Green Lantern. But I think any of those 5 I just mentioned could be the headliner, or could show up in a movie, and it would be normal. Especially because Jon Stewart is the one we all know from cartoons. Like, most people that I know that are my age that don't read a lot of comics probably think he's the main one. Because of how much the cartoon didn't even bother to bring up Hal Jordan. Like, he was never mentioned. He may as well have not existed. Which is fine. That's great. I also, you know what? I think you could do 6. I think you could sneak in Sinestro the Green Lantern as the main character in a movie like this one does successfully as well. I think it'd be weird. Like, I don't think they could all pose together like the Justice League at the end and be like, we did it! It's all 7 of us. Remember this picture. None of us are bad. But I think, like, story-wise, he could slip in. But, yeah. So, you know what? You know what Jessica Cruz is called, I believe? Instead of Green Lantern, her character is just called Power Ring.
Well, that's what the Crime Syndicate of America Green Lantern is called.
So, in the comics, she is that. She's the second iteration of that, I believe, in the Crime Syndicate, and then she, like, segues over to the Justice League. I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I don't know. Who knows? You know what it is? Okay, so someone brutally murders her friend. Jessica managed to escape the Ring of Volthoom, which feeds off fear and had abandoned Power Ring after her death during Crime Syndicate's incursion on Prime Earth, and is able to locate her due to her trauma. So she is not Power Ring technically, but she is given the Power Ring. So yeah, she's very popular right now. I want to say she was in an animated movie, and like, she seems fun. I think she's like an agoraphobe or something. She has something going on that's like unusual that makes her interesting. But yeah, she should be in one of these. I mean, screw it, man. If we're doing the Snyder Cut, just edit characters in. Like, you know how they want to do Martian Manhunter has secretly been that one guy the whole time? The general who's like, Superman, don't blow up my drone, please. It's expensive. That guy's apparently Martian Manhunter in the Snyder Cut. So like, yeah, put her in there. I know. There's an animatic. Go on Vero. Go to sign into Vero and find Z/Snyder or whatever. I don't know how Vero works. And yeah, there's an animatic where at the end of it, that guy turns into Martian Manhunter. Now, I don't know if that character has always been Martian Manhunter or he's just Martian Manhunter for the events of the Justice League movie, but that is a thing that was planned because Zack Snyder doesn't get it. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy. But yeah,
alrighty then.
That's all I got. Do you guys want to go to our classic segment?
Yes.
I would love that.
All right. You can't recommend Green Lantern, a movie we all just saw earlier today. But DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. So one was we mentioned last week, so I won't belabor it too much. But I watched the first 2 episodes of Lovecraft Country, and I love it so much. And I'm really into that like Lovecraftian shit, so I definitely recommend it. The other thing I would like to recommend is also an HBO product. It's called The Vow. It is a documentary series about Nexium, which was one of these like crazy cults that had a sex ring tied to it. I think the story on it came out in 2019, but it basically follows these people who got out of the cult and they talk about their experiences. I am just a fan of all of that kind of trash stuff in general and seeing how, you know, people's psyche gets involved and, you know, the investigations into how these things get busted. So I watched the first episode and was like really drawn in. I think HBO does these documentaries really well. There's one to look out for in October. Do you guys know who Craig Carton is?
No.
Yeah, he's the guy who invented egg cartons.
Close. He was a sportscaster on WFAN who got to some huge SEC violations and like illegal gambling and shit like that.
No, I've never heard of him.
And he went to jail, and he's out, and he's going to be going back to doing radio for New York sports radio, which is kind of crazy. And they're doing a documentary.
I hear there's a vacancy somewhere in radio. Take that spot.
And they're going to be doing a documentary on him, so that should be fascinating. HBO just does really good documentaries in general, so yeah, check out The Vow. There's only one episode now. I think the total's 9, what I saw for the show details, so it's going to be a lot of stuff there. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the week.
Cool. Yeah, how far did you watch both Lovecraft ones or just the first one?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
I think that show, not to spoil anything, has an episode to episode like Suicide Pact. Like I cannot like every episode at the end I'm like, well, it's over, right? Where are we going from here? And I still don't know.
I think it's meant
bizarre.
to be kind of an anthology series, but also kind of not, and that does make it feel a little weird. I agree.
I'm excited. I like it's got a ton of potential if they're just doing whatever they want, but you know, it's pretty bizarre. All right, Diggins, you got anything fun to recommend? Don't recommend Green Lantern, a movie you apparently like. I
did like this movie, but you're gonna have to you're gonna have to wait till next week to find out why.
What a fool.
Quick re-recommendation. I finally got to play Fall Guys. It's a fun game. You should play it. I'm not going to belabor the point.
And you won one.
And I won one on stream. So if you were there and saw me win, thank you for holding your arms up and giving me your energy so I could win. But my actual recommendation for the week, I'm going to break the cardinal rule and recommend a podcast. A podcast that's not us, that is.
Boo. How many times do I have to boo in the recommendation segment?
Okay. So this is it's one of those fancy D&D actual play podcasts, but this one is a little different from a lot of the ones out there in the sense that it's like recorded in a studio. It's extensively edited, both for time and also like they add in sound effects and like a lot of Foley work and stuff and voice effects for different characters. So it feels kind of more, it feels like more of like a professional production than like friends getting together and doing a thing. Which is kind of nice to hear in one of these. Cause like, not that I don't enjoy friends getting together and playing a game and that being a podcast, but you know, there's a million of those now. And so it's nice to hear one that's like more produced. Also,
I see that.
And also the people who do it are mostly like professional comedians and such, and they're really, really funny.
Have you named what this thing is yet?
I don't think I have.
No, I'm excited. I'm curious now. What is it?
It's called Rude Tales of Magic.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so it's like it's run by it's DM'd by Branson Reese, who is a cartoonist who you may have seen his work on Twitter. It tends to be very bizarre, and that carries through. But there's also a few other people you might have heard of. Christopher Hastings, who wrote Dr. McNinja, as well as some comics like Gwenpool. And he did another run with Marvel. I forget what it was.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, God. What was it? Because, yeah, I read Gwenpool a little bit. It's interesting. What was Christopher Hastings wrote? He wrote some Deadpool, but that's not it.
No, he had like another series.
But that's not what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
He wrote Longshot. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Longshot saves the Marvel Universe, which is apparently very good.
Okay, so yeah, so he's in there. Other people are also there. Ali Fisher, Kali Minato, Tim Platt. I don't really know what they do, but I'm sure it's great because they're very funny in this podcast that I enjoy. This one is like, there is a story and it's going somewhere, but I would say the main reason to go is for the goofs. Like I said, they have a very good rapport and chemistry, and also it's, as I said, quite edited so that the flow doesn't get broken up too much, which is, again, something that's kind of... if you're used to our rambling tangents, that might be something you'd appreciate. It's a really funny podcast. You should check it out if you like that sort of thing. It's called Rude Tales of Magic, and that is my recommendation for the week.
Very good. This is a tough one, because a lot of the things I have read recently are things that I have, or like read or watched, or things that I've watched before. Like I watched, obviously, not I watched, but I'm keeping up on my Quibbies. The Mapleville Murders are still my favorite new show of the year. I think it's super funny. And
if you like it so much, why can't you get the name right?
What is it? Maplewood Murders?
Isn't it Maplethorn?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. God, how do I not know this? You think I'd be like, browse following? God, how do I not know this? Mapleworth. No, it's Mapleworth Murders.
Well, that's not what you said, so...
what did I say?
You said
Did I say Mapleville? Nah. You said Maplethorn, which is...
well, but I'm not the one who says it's the best show, so...
It is the best show, and you watch it, I'm sure you'll agree. It's a terrific show. It's about a lady who solves crimes. It's Murder, She Wrote parody. We've already talked about it. I still love it, and I still think everyone should watch it. As far as other stuff, man, I don't know. What?
That was me coughing. I was gonna
okay.
Go past.
Don't you laugh at this comedy? You know what I watched that I actually liked? I don't think have we talked about Tiny Creatures? Did I talk about that last week?
Have we talked about the concept of tiny creatures?
Yes, things that are smaller than normal, and them being living things that are like kind of, they're all around us, like creatures. No, Tiny Creatures is a show on Netflix. It is a documentary series, and I'm not quite sure what the deal is. If you see it, you'll get what I mean. But it's so produced. I've never seen a documentary like documentary like Animal, like, oh, there's a kangaroo mouse and we're gonna follow it around, right? I've never seen a show like this with this much narrative, and there's a part of me that wonders, did they film a kangaroo mouse going on a journey of self-discovery, or did they film 50 kangaroo mice and stitch it together into a journey of self-discovery? There are reasons why it seems like it could be A, and reasons why it seems like it could be B. Either way, it is the most, narrative... if you've ever seen March of the Penguins, which I'd say is, on this level, where it's the penguins all find a mate. The parents go out to get food. Oh, a seal might eat them. This is that if it was written by a soap opera writer. And it's it's so fun. I can't even explain it. The first one is about a kangaroo mouse in Arizona or something. So it's on Netflix. If you're in for a laugh, watch it. There is a point about 2/3 of the way through where you're not necessarily where is this going, but you're like, what is this? And then you kind of get it. Not necessarily a twist, but just where this is on the scale of 1 to 100 on the wackiness scale. And it's closer to 100 than you'd expect. I haven't watched any episodes but the one I watched, but I did find it quite entertaining. I will say the other thing that I've watched a little bit of recently, but not in terms of an entire watch, but just I've watched a lot of the scenes kind of separately, is The Boys, which we've talked about before, but that is coming back in 2 weeks. So I've been kind of catching up on favorite scenes, and there's so much about that movie or that show that holds up. And I'd say my favorite bit is probably the whole episode 5 of Believe Expo. I want to start a letter writing campaign to get one of the Stretch Armstrong dolls that are props. I don't know if I can. I don't know if they're in a warehouse somewhere, but I would love one. And that is all I've got there. So yeah, Tiny Creatures on Netflix, The Boys on Amazon Prime, both great. Or I don't know, one Netflix one. Like the one episode of Tiny Creatures is good. They may really get crazy after that, but I did enjoy them. Yeah. Anybody have anything to plug this week?
I actually do have a minor plug.
What? This is unheard of,
right.
DJ.
So real quick, I wrote in a Monday Night Raw review on the Pop Break, and the only reason I call it out is because my absolute favorite wrestler, Keith Lee, has been moved to Monday Night Raw from NXT. This guy is so good. Wrestling's gotten a little bit better recently. They've moved to the all virtual audience model, which is definitely a step in the right direction. It took him way too long. But Keith Lee, look him up. He is built like a linebacker, but he's incredibly athletic, really good charisma, just a good-looking guy. He's
DJ, do you want me to get Keith Lee on the show?
I please get Keith Lee on the show.
I'll pull some strings. I'm sure I can.
Awesome.
Listen, if you can get Keith Lee on the show, I'm not against
But
it.
wait, say more nice things about Keith Lee.
Incredible worker.
Oh my God.
Just I can't think of these great.
Is he a
eyebrows.
father? Is he a good father?
I don't know if he has kids, but if he does, he is a good father. And
that's
he's
great.
A great son, if not great father.
How is he as a husband?
I don't know if he's married, but if he is, he's great. So, yeah.
How many crowns has he won in Fall Guys?
Probably 7. He's probably won 7 crowns.
Oh my
That's
God, that's insane. Does he stand on that one beam and push everybody off?
No, he would never do that. He's a good man.
This guy is a hero.
Not a war criminal. So, yeah. Check out my review. All my just unabashed opinions on Keith Lee and how great he is. And I'm so happy he's on Monday Night Raw, and I'm sure WWE will ruin him. So, yeah.
How's Saudi Arabia doing? Do they fix that problem, or are they still going
no,
headstrong?
not even.
Okay.
I mean, they can't travel right now, so they didn't solve the problem. They just are unable to pursue that problem.
The world solved the problem for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good. Dickens, you got anything to plug?
Not at the moment, but watch this space.
Okay. I have a video eventually coming out about Star Wars, but I will say, if you enjoy us, every so often we may do a little Twitch streaming. Who knows who will be on what stream besides me? Probably because it'll probably be from the Nando V Movies Twitch channel, because that's where most of people are. But yeah, we played Fall Guys the other day. That was fun.
Yeah.
Once I get Avengers, I'll play that there, but I don't expect everyone to play it. But, it's one of those things where you got an hour to kill, and you do a little stream. So, if anyone wants to come be part of that, currently we're going on twitch.tv/NandoVMovies. Do you two guys have Twitch accounts?
Yeah.
I do.
Take a file for the heck of it. What's the and you guys stream as well, but I don't know. If all 3 of us are playing, we would all stream, I guess, our own streams, right? How would that work?
I mean, we could do that, if we
yeah.
wanted, or we could. There's ways to do it, so you could have it automatically show your view in the main thing, and then us on the side is what's actually showing up on your Twitch. There's settings in OBS to do that, but I don't know. I don't know enough to get into the details.
Stay tuned for more info.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Besides
Twitter's
that,
always a good place to look for that.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Green Lantern next week, unless something else catches our fancy.
I have
then,
to talk about this movie now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And you already know Dickens' wrong opinion, so you can tweet him and be like, hey, incorrect.
Yeah,
It's
and then you'll
actually-
hear me next week, and you'll be like, "Wow, actually, he's right."
Yeah. So that's a little something for next week. Until next week, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.